You are watching the Vodka stream.
Hey, what's happening, guys? Hey, round two? Why not? Why not? This time we'll be doing the Patreon and members, the people that are supporting the channel by being members and, of course, being part of the Patreon, or, you have the option to join. So if you want to join the discussion, of course. I think we'll be talking about the Superman trailer. Sorry, it looked like there was hair on there or something like that. I have poured another eggnog like I did last night, so cheers. Oh, man. Ooh, that's good. It's good stuff. That's some good nog right there, man. Yeah, I went to my dad's today. He had like a little breakfast Christmas thing, so that was fun. A lot of food, a lot of eats and everything, so... What's going on, Eric? We got Naval. I'm sure Eric will be showing up. We got Taladia Plays. What's happening? We got A-Ball. We got Phil right here. Phil, there is something. There's something with you, Phil, that I'm gonna talk to you about. Which it was something that when I was at my dad's, that I came to like a realization about something. It's kind of funny. What's going on, Brendan? Versus Seed, what's happening? Club Soda, we got Jade. What's happening? We got Max Wolf Danger. Basically, yes, the eggnog stream. What's going on, Jason? It does have a very Home Alone feel. I actually have Christmas with the Cranks playing in the background right now. So, yeah, Christmas with the Cranks. Not a bad movie. I like it. What's going on, Clay Italian? What's happening? I actually have some ALC to drink. There you go. Do that. I should join on the road trip to... Yeah, I saw that. You said that. You're like going to Vegas, so have a good time, man. I know. Usually, RJ, you always join these streams, so... But have a good time, man. Have a good time. I know it's Christmas time, so a lot of people are busy and whatnot and stuff like that, so that's good. But, yeah, guys, like I said, if you want to be part of it, if you're supporting the channel, and I thank you, of course, everybody who's supporting the channel by being members and, of course, supporting the Patreon. Like I said, I'm going to be dropping the link in just a little bit here. If you want to come on and discuss, even if you don't like the trailer, even if you don't like the Superman trailer, it's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. I don't know if you guys saw this, but before, we start inviting people in, I'll go ahead and I'm going to post it right now. I can post it. All right, posting it. Let's see. I'll just post everything right here. Let's see. Do that. All right, posting the stream right here. Thank you, Talati Plays. Yeah, it was a fun stream, as always, hanging out with the boys. Let's see. What was I going to do? I think that's... Oh, yeah. There's that. No, but one thing I was going to say, like, right off the start right here, it kind of was like, geez, really? Because, we remember that David Ayer kind of like tweeted out that he was going to be taking a little sabbatical, I guess you could say, from Twitter because of the things that happened when it came to the Ayer cut campaigns and not realizing that he's supporting James Gunn essentially and stuff like that. Well, Variety actually wrote an article about it. I'm like, geez. Right when I got home, or right when I was about to get home from my dad's, David Ayer himself actually retweeted. He actually retweeted the article. And it was just like, what are we doing here? I was like, Variety's actually reporting this. I mean, you could see it right here. And I'm like, oh, man, this is what I was talking about. It's not it, folks. Not it, folks, right here. But yeah, David Ayer has responded to public criticism for his support of James Gunn's upcoming film Superman and his cinematic expansion of the collective DC universe. My lord, if supporting another filmmaker is so contentious, I'm just lost at this point. So taking back one of his, what he said right there. And it's just like, man, now, I mean, hey, it's kind of cool that Variety is actually kind of paying attention to all this stuff. But I think everything's so Superman and everything right now that it was just maybe it's something, and it's a little bit of drama. I mean, it does get David Ayer's name out there too when it comes to all that, but at the same time, I'm like, and then of course you have the Shamik Moore stuff too. Like, that whole thing, I'm still kind of catching up on that. But that whole thing was yeesh. But yeah, the fact that Variety actually reported that, I'm like, wow, Variety actually reported that. And that's why I said it's not a good look. It's not a good look, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. And you better believe that there's going to be, yeah, I don't know. It's just that kind of stuff. You just kind of like filmmakers supporting filmmakers. Wow, what a concept, right, guys? But I mean, who knows if he was actually, because I know some people are saying, oh, he was receiving death threats. Again, sometimes when people say that could be hyperbole kind of stuff and everything. So who knows if that was all, 100% true, but it was just like, good Lord, man. Anyways, but it was just like, I saw that and I was like, oh man, let's not be doing this right now. Let's not be doing this, but anyways, let's see. Who am I? Oh, fuck. Sorry, I was gonna send this somewhere else. Just not the way to go. But at the same time, it's like, hey, But even like, it was just funny how like he kind of came back and retweeted that. I was like, oh shit, he did tweet that, didn't he? He did tweet that. Why is this not working? Where the hell? Okay, here we go. Let's see. Connected board. Okay, so all right, so but yeah, I saw that and I was like, Jesus Christ, what are we doing here? But no big deal. Hopefully, it's not going to be a big deal. We'll be all right. You got death threats from some folks in this audience after things I said on TVS last. Oh, really? Oh, wow. That's stupid. Clay said that's stupid. I mean, yeah, fuck those people. It's all empty threats. But sorry that happened, Andy. Yeah, it's ridiculous. This fandom stuff gets ridiculous. Hey, Dave, do you think the Superman theme used in the full trailer is one that will be in the movie? I don't think so. For some reason, I think that was strictly for the trailer. That's why I said that that it felt like, like an expensive fan film trailer. I think they were really just like going that. I'm sure there might be hints of that and stuff like that, but but who knows? Who actually knows? Who actually knows when it comes to that? Anyways. Phil, what's happening, sir?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Nice shirt. Good.
I think I got this and I got another shirt. Actually, hold on. I'll go get the other shirt.
Okay.
You'll like this one. So Hot Topic.
Yeah, they have the shirt now, right?
Yeah, they were doing buy one get one half off. So
nice.
I got this one and then I got that.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
A little Joker action right there. A little Dark Knight. Like it. Cool.
Yeah. I'm a DC fan.
Hey, DC fan first, and you can have some criticism about the way things are happening.
Absolutely.
What's wrong with that? It's funny, Phil. So today, this is funny.
Look at William's comment. I betrayed me. Oh man,
it happens.
I'm a traitor. Sorry, William.
What did you do? No. What I was gonna say is like, okay, so I go to my dad's today for his Christmas breakfast thing, and his new wife, I've met her family, and she has a son, right? That anytime I see him, his name's Carl, a really nice dude, but every time I saw him, I was like, what? I look at you, and I'm like, why do you look familiar? And then it hit me, dude could be your fucking twin brother. Dude, and when I pulled up, because I went to your Instagram, I pulled up like one of your pictures, and I showed my dad. He goes, "Holy shit!" And then I showed her. She was like, "Oh wow!" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "It just hit me." Like anytime I came around, this guy was like, "Why do you look familiar?" And then when I looked, I was like, "Holy shit, he looks like Phil." And then it was like, sure enough. So it was funny. It was like, yeah, seriously, I'll have to try to find a picture and send it to you because you guys look like, yeah,
dude. You want to hear some fucking funny, awkward shit?
Okay.
So today, when I went Christmas shopping, I got a whole bunch of shit from my mom, my brother, my nephew, his girlfriend. Yeah. And I'm walking out of the mall into Macy's because the mall closest to me is like conjoined by like a JCPenney's and a Macy's and all this other bullshit. Anyway, I'm walking out of the Macy's section. I see a girl I went on a date with like 6 months ago.
Oh God.
And like we do the whole like,
wait a minute.
Yeah. And I was like, we went on a date, and she goes, yeah, you look familiar. And I was like, yeah, my name's Philip. I'm the guy who likes Kevin Smith because you went to high school with Jason Mewes' wife. And she was like,
oh, wow.
Oh yeah, I remember you now. Phil, right? I said, yeah, you're Kay, right? She goes, yeah. And we sat there and talked for like 2 minutes. And then I was like, well, I'm going to go back to Christmas shopping. And she was like, yeah, me too. See ya. Bye. And I was like, yeah, bye. And then I hit up Jordan Chainsaw, and I was like, hey, man, I just had the most awkward thing fucking happen while I was Christmas shopping. And he goes, what? And I told him what happened. He goes, awkward.
Yeah. That's a little awkward. But hey, at least it was, fine. It seemed like it was a kind of little, hey, you remember that bullshit for a little bit, and then, well, see you later.
It was one date, no big deal.
Yeah, that's it happens. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Logan. Your thoughts on the Superman suit? I kind of like it. Hey, that's perfectly fine. I mean, like, I like it for the universe that it's in now. I mean, after seeing the trailer, I'm like, okay, I understand it. Sure. Yes, is it still kind of ugly? Sure. There's like a promo shot that's going around, like a GIF that shows Corin Sweat in the suit and as Clark Kent. And of course, people were doing the screenshot. I'm like, yeah, the lighting doesn't look that good right there. It looks kind of faded out and worn out. But at the same time, I'm like, well, it is kind of, maybe that's what he's going for. And it's completely the opposite of previous suits. So I can respect that at least. And for the most part, for this world, I'm like, okay.
What is the over under that we see him maybe change in a well, I don't, it's a modern perspective. I don't think there is a telephone booth for him to change in.
I don't think he can, unless he just happens to find a random. I don't know. That is a good point. Like, do you bring that back somehow?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
I think we're for sure probably going to get the shirt rip.
Oh, of course. You got to get the shirt rip.
I think so. I think that's a definite. But
then at the same time, with that costume, that thing's thick. But then at the same time,
right.
the suit is pretty baggy itself, too. Like, when you see him in the suit, it's not form fitting and everything like that. All right, guys, let's go ahead and start bringing some of the fans of the channel in here to have a little round 2 discussion when it comes to this trailer. What's going on, Eric?
Hey, how you doing, man? You say you got some eggnog? I got some eggnog of my own.
Cheers. Do you have rum in yours? Probably not.
No, but it's the Southern Comfort brand, so it's like meant to, like, if you want, you put in like Southern Comfort whiskey in it, but it's the vanilla spice flavor, by the way.
Oh, that's good. That sounds tasty.
Yeah.
Cheers, man. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. By the way, and like you brought up the phone booth. The funny thing is, if you remember, someone brought this up. I think it was on Twitter, of all things. Someone brought up that in the Christopher Reeve, the first Christopher Reeve film, where like he does, the clothes change.
Yeah.
The first thing he does is he runs to a phone, but because even in the 70s, like phone booths had been outdated, so it's really just like a little like phone station on the pole, and he's like, nah. And then he goes to like a hotel, like the spinning door, and then he uses that.
Yeah, there's that too. I mean, it's going to be interesting how, like, what they actually do when it comes to all that. I mean, yeah, it is going to be interesting what kind of like homages he plays into that, or whatever show, like the Shadow or something like in the Fletcher fucking cartoons or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because like in the Fletcher cartoon, he even like. It's like when he at one point I remember he goes into an elevator and you can see through it like the silhouette of him doing this change.
Yeah, they did a lot of that stuff when it came to the silhouette, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Jade showing up. Jade. Oh, maybe.
Hello?
You can we can hear you, but we can't see you if you have your camera on.
Yeah, give me just a second. I'm still trying to figure out how this whole StreamYard thing works.
Yeah. You can check the settings, and sometimes if you need to exit out and come back in too, sometimes that helps. If you're with that.
Using a laptop, is the thing in front of your camera on your laptop?
No, I'm using my phone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I think it can be a little wonky on the phone. I've tried to use it on my phone before too, but as you're figuring that out, we got Taladia Plays coming on right now. What's going on, man?
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you all.
Yeah.
Hey.
You guys look together, right?
He looks familiar.
Hey. Hey,
It's up to life.
Yeah.
what can I say? Merry
How you
Christmas to
doing?
all of you guys.
Oh, we're doing pretty good. You know, Saturday, drinking some eggnog. Can't
Yeah.
complain.
Yeah. By the way, going back to the music in the trailer, does someone asked, do you think if they're going to use if that theme is going to be the theme in the movie? And you say, I doubt it. I will say, like, there were some one of the big comments about that music in the trailer is that it's Superman meets Top Gun.
Oh yeah. See,
Yeah.
yeah, we talked about that last night too, and I didn't even think about that because I was like, oh wow, the guitar
Yeah.
does sound Top Gunnish. Yes.
Yeah, it's the top. It's like I forget. I keep forgetting Harold. I forget how his last name's Faltermeyer.
I
forget.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a good point. I was like, oh yeah, it does have that little, the way that the solo sounds. I'm like, yeah, didn't even think about
Absolutely.
that. What's going
Yeah.
on, Axel?
Hey,
What the
So-
fuck did you do to your hair?
Happy birthday
yeah.
to you.
oh yeah, thanks guys. Oh yeah, I died it a few weeks ago. I saw the
And he's
trailer.
growing a beard. He turned 21 and he had puberty. All right. Just kidding.
you wish I was there.
Kidding with you.
I
Let's
saw the
go.
Superman trailer.
Uh-huh.
I'm scared. I think I enjoyed it.
Oh, we got to talk about this.
Guys,
Also,
I
check
don't
your
know
mic.
what's
Check your
happening.
mic settings. Check your mic setting. I don't know if your
Mic
mic's
fucked up.
actually.
Fuck.
Yeah, I think you might be pulling from your computer, possibly. All right, let's see here. I think. Let's see. Let's remove. I think Jade is now working. There you go. Jade.
What's up?
There you go.
There
You're
we go.
working now.
There we
How's it
go.
going, everybody?
How's it going, man?
Doing good. I did want to say that it is my first time doing anything like this. But
Hey, well.
did
Carrie.
want to say that I've been watching for a good bit, especially during the whole, Snyder cut movement and everything. So been loving every stream that you do every Friday. So
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. So, welcome to the stream. Oh, man, somebody else was in here, but then he just left. Anyways,
Yeah.
maybe he'll come back. But let's see. Check your mic now, Axel. Is it good?
Hello.
Yeah, I think it's better. There you go.
Okay, good. So I only got to be here for a quick minute, but we did a reaction video yesterday to the trailer.
Okay.
I actually really liked it. I don't know. I think Dave. I think I sent you the link to that.
Yeah,
stream.
well, I hadn't watched it yet.
Yeah.
I saw that
Yeah,
this morning. But I was in February.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually quite enjoyed it.
Okay, Axel, because you have not
I
been
know.
on board with a lot of this.
You've
And
been
even I
far
thought that
more,
you
angry
yeah.
than I have about it, which is
So what-
I still have problems with the trailer, of course, with the
Okay.
cinematography, the costume. I still hate it.
Okay.
And I'm surprised. I will give James Gunn I forgot the term, but I'm surprised there was not really any comedy. I'm surprised Jimmy Olsen wasn't in the trailer that much.
He was.
Yeah,
he actually
kind of
was.
was.
Well,
Yeah.
but he wasn't in it that much.
He wasn't like he
He's,
didn't have,
he's in a
like-
frame. He's in a
Yeah.
single frame, and
he,
that's it. Yeah.
and there wasn't that much dialogue either. There was just
Although I will say, I strongly suspect that that this Krypto will be one of the big standouts of the film.
Of course.
definitely.
Yeah. Because especially how this Gunn's take on Krypto is a puppy.
Yeah.
I can just imagine a lot of normal normies, average Joes, if they're watching the trailer, the moment he comes out of the cloud and just goes ruff, and I could just imagine a lot of folks just going, "Aww."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what's going to be the case, which is fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But so I mean, did it take a couple of times, Axel, before you were like, hey, this actually could be something here?
Well, I did see the trailer, and I enjoyed the music. I was like,
Okay.
I like Lex Luthor looks good. Lois
Yep.
Lane looks good as always, and yeah, I'm just yeah. What else is there? I spotted how Superman's in that cell and he's about to punch. I spotted Metamorpho is.
Yeah,
in
we
it.
talked about that last
right.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And yeah, we just talked about it, and I discussed my thoughts about it, and I think shit, I'm gonna get my my Snyder fan card away, taken away. I've betrayed
Christ.
the fatherland.
It's
And,
fine.
I know.
It's fine.
Yeah, well,
It's all
But
jokes. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I
that's
think
good, man.
I can't believe I've never been so wrong before.
Well, you know what? I know. I mean, hey, it's whatever. I mean, like, there's still going to be people out there that don't like it, and that's perfectly fine. But I mean,
Yeah.
it is one of those things where it's like, at first I was like, all right, it's a decent trailer, and then I watched it over and over again, and I was like, you know what, this is a pretty damn good first trailer. Yes, it still feels like an expensive fan film trailer to me, just because it's Superman and what you're seeing.
I mean,
and
like
you're not getting
the only
context.
thing that feels off for me, I think that why people think it's CW-ish is like the problem I have is with the cinematography. It's just because it's the same one from the Flash, and like especially with that shot of like Mr. Terrific in the desert, it just reminded me a lot of the Flash.
Yeah,
and
with the Lex Luthor henchman or whatever.
Yeah.
they were wearing, like
Yeah, I think those look cool, but I just need a proper look at them. It's like too early to say like, oh, if they look terrible or not, because like we didn't get a proper look at them, and
No,
so
that's good. Hey, at least you came on and admitted it. You know?
yeah, of
I
course,
didn't. I thought you were just like completely like, no, this sucks.
Oh no,
yeah.
Have you
Although
sent
here-
any group
yeah.
chat? Have you gotten flamed in any of those old group chats I was in when I was on Twitter?
oh no, but I'm still saying like a lot of I keep a lot of scoops are sent in one of those group chats, but like I'm not even gonna say it.
Is it the most prominent one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Okay. Yeah.
Although-
I don't even need to ask, and I already know. But that's
Although here's another like a funny thing. Like if you want to start a flame war on the opposite direction, like I think Dave actually like just a little bit earlier tonight tweeted about like the one shot from BVS and then a one shot from the trailer and how it's like thematically just spot on. And I would add to that like the quick the slow motion. Yeah, yep, that one exactly right there. And then you also add to it the slow mo action shot of when he's protecting the girl from the explosion. It's the slow mo shot. Just the two of them together. And I got one thing to say: Zack Snyder is the blueprint.
There you go. Nothing wrong with saying that, right? We love saying.
Oh yeah.
No, I was just I saw that shot and I was like, you know what? Oh, we were driving home. My brother was driving, so I was just on Twitter and I was like, oh yeah, that shot. And I was like, hey, guess what? I love that. I love BVS, but I'm also looking forward to
Yeah.
I gotta head off. So
okay. Well, happy birthday,
Happy
Axel!
birthday,
Thank you for
Axel.
joining.
Thank you, guys.
Talk
Thanks for
to
having
you
me
soon,
on.
man. Enjoy
Take
your
care.
birthday.
Yeah, excellent.
See ya. Okay, and then we got William joining in. What's going on, brother?
Fuck
doing?
you.
I know that guy.
Hey, listen, I'm knowing my eggnog doesn't have anything in it but eggnog, so you don't know. That's you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got Tony Movie Chappie D9.
Neil Blomkamp fan. I'm
Neil
here.
Blomkamp fan. There you go. I forgot the rest of it. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I never
I'm doing
remembered it.
good. This is
I
my
just called
first
him
time
Chappie.
on here. I'm very excited. I'm kind of feel a bit nervous, but hey, but I've always loved your channel. I've been following you since the Snyder Cut movement, and I really love what you've been doing here, and like what you do on like films, on what you do on like Film Talk and like DC News and in general. Like you're like a huge DC fan and a Snyder fan, like myself, and I really love what you've been doing lately. So
Okay,
Well,
I don't ever
appreciate
get this level of ass kissing when you're on my channel. I'm
Jeez,
offended.
come on, man.
William, I've been on your channel for about a year now. You ain't noticed.
No, but I appreciate that, Tony. I really appreciate it. I also like your.
And weirdly enough, the
profile.
first video I saw from you was actually your Justice League watch along.
Oh, when we did
Is that the
watch.
one where you're drinking?
Yeah,
The drunk one?
that
Oh,
was
we
the
got
first video I
got
saw from you, and I
hammered.
was like, "Hey, I think I actually like this guy." So that's why I started watching you more and more in your videos. So yeah, that's
we got so hammered, and that's a 2-hour-long movie, and we were
Yeah.
like, we were taking shots, and of like when there was like cringy things. I mean, it didn't take long.
Weirdly
It was like,
enough,
yeah.
and
You
weirdly
should get
enough, every
alcohol
time when I
poisoning
watch
off that one.
Justice League, I always put your audio on as I'm watching it because that's the best way to watch it.
Oh yeah,
You
we were
guys-
doing colorful commentary on that one. That's for damn sure. So I appreciate that. Yeah, that was, we were like, all right, when the Snyder Cut was going to finally come out, we were like, all right, it's time to put Justice to bed. And then we decided, let's do a live watch. It was like me, Garza,
And
Everett, Scott. Was Steven there? I think, was Steven there?
No.
I don't know. I can't remember.
remember.
I really can't remember because I got pretty freaking hammered. But yeah, I remember like Garza and I, like, we were like, all right, we're taking shots anytime we like feel that it is something that is just, that we just hate.
Like
we
flash
got
on the boobs.
trashed.
You took a big shot on that one.
Yep. Yeah, it was that was a good time, but now I appreciate it, man. But yeah. But I also like your profile picture too. You're keeping up with District 9. Is he wearing a Santa hat?
No.
Oh, I thought he was. I thought he was wearing something like that. I thought it was like.
Well, District 9 is my favorite movie of all time, so I always got to put my guy Christopher Johnson on there.
Might as well.
They keep on talking about possibly doing a sequel, but I'm like, is it too late for a sequel?
I don't think so. I mean, for me, how I feel about a District 9 sequel, if you take your time very well with it, and if you have like a great idea for the movie, you know, like if you have like a really great idea, like where you want to take the story, like, because I would like to see the end of Christopher Johnson's and Vicky Vermeer's story. Like, I'm actually curious, but I don't want you to go ahead and just rush through it like you did with X-Men, The Last Stand, or Rise of Skywalker, where you just rush it out just to make money. No, I don't want that. I would rather you like take your time with it, you know. For that's why I'm one of those people. Like, yeah, like I would like a sequel, but I'm like, okay, just take your time with it. That's
maybe something will happen. Who knows? And Chappie was interesting too. I didn't like Chappie as much, but Chappie was. I mean, you feel for that robot. That's for damn sure. You know?
Chappie's underrated. It's you know, weirdly enough, that movie has gotten a resurgence lately. Like, it wasn't received. Yeah, it wasn't well received when it first came out, but like I think now after people are watching it now, like it's starting to now gain a little bit of a cult following. I feel, and it's a great film. I think it's so terribly misunderstood. Like, it's like how I feel about BVS. Like, I think so many people misunderstood that film for what it is, but it really is a brilliant film, I feel. But yeah, you should actually give Chappie another rewatch. I also love Elysium. I think
Elysium's great. Elysium's great. I watched that.
Yeah, I don't get the hate all for Elysium. I think that's a great follow-up.
Yeah, no, Elysium was great. Chappie was a little bit. Yeah, I need to give that one a chance again. But I like Neill Blomkamp. Obviously, the what's the movie he did? The racing movie, that last racing movie, right?
Oh yeah, that was actually pretty good.
That was really good. Yeah, Gran Turismo. There you go.
Yeah, that wasn't bad at all. Like, I was actually surprised by that one. I kind of went in like going in expecting nothing from it because I thought it was kind of dumb that he was doing a race car movie. But then I went out like, yeah, that was actually pretty good.
No, I really enjoyed that one. I really enjoyed it. And thank you, Roberto, for the $20 super chat. So after the trailer's response with more than 200 million views, it was more than 260, apparently. Different platforms. Do you think this movie will flop? Now, I never thought the movie was going to flop, right? Did anybody here actually?
All it needs to do is just make about $400 million or like $500 million.
That's what this guy has been saying right there.
To be honest with you, if it doesn't make that and it gets acclaim, then you move on from there, because you're talking about 7 years of brand damage. So if it takes a hit, you have to understand that's not because of that particular movie. You can't gauge.
Yeah, you have to gain the audience trust back a little bit.
That you put out.
It'll be like it's like
Harley Quinns and all this other B-level shit. Then now you want people to come back with their wallets. It's going to take some time. So even if they lost a little bit on it and it gets acclaim, and the shirts are selling and the stuffed dogs are selling, then you should move forward regardless. I don't think there's a certain barometer that it needs to make. I mean, because there's just too many moving parts that have been moving the wrong way for 7 years that you can't really judge it on that.
I think partially too the fact that I mean, one of the things that's good about Gunn, he's efficient. He knows how to utilize his budget. He's not gonna, and he's calling the shots. So it's not gonna be like, oh shit, we got to change a certain thing and do a bunch of reshoots, add some shit, so that's gonna inflate the budget. I think I mean, we heard about additional photography, but that's it.
A lot of times they budget for that too. Remember that?
Yes.
A lot of times they'll budget for the.
And then he has plenty of time too. I mean, it still doesn't come out for another 7 months, 6 months, 7 months.
Isn't it going up against Fantastic Four though?
Yeah,
Not really.
It's still a tough month for sure.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks out. Okay, so Fantastic Four comes out on the 27th. This comes out on the 11th.
25th.
The majority of your money, up to 82%, is made within those first 2 weeks. So by the time that third week comes around, it's going to be fine. I think it benefits from being right where it's at, right between Jurassic Park and July 27th. They should never move any of those three movies. And people are like, which one should move? I'm like, none of them should move. They're right.
Yeah.
I know. I thought I figured somebody was going to fold, but then I was like, yeah, you're probably right. No one's probably going to move. What are you going to say, Eric?
Yeah, I just find it so like kind of funny how like nowadays like we're saying, well, look, you don't need to make this movie does not need to make $1 billion. And I just remember just the narrative about Batman v Superman. It's like, you've got Superman in it, you've got Batman in it. Why did you not make $1 billion? And apparently that's where like a lot of the trouble started. Really the trouble started when they cut the movie down.
It wasn't the fact that it didn't make $1 billion. It was the fact that it was poorly received. That's what got.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. If you're in the corner office and you're giving the thumbs up and thumbs down in these movies, you can't be a pussy. All right, there is no such thing as a movie. If you're making a character that's been around 85 years, you are always going to have divisiveness. Choose a side, right? Yeah. Choose the side that is giving you money and build from there. That whole poorly received shit, I'm like, so what? You know how much shit is poorly received that makes money and gets continued?
I mean, Transformers Edge of Extinction was panned, and that made over like $1 billion. So.
Well, you know what's funny too is like when you look at that top 10 24-hour trailer views. I remember when I posted that, and I had of course I had people that wanted to push back against it, and people were bringing up, but it's got Thor: Love and Thunder. I mean, I'm like, you realize that Thor: Love and Thunder, even though it was not well received, it still was successful at the box.
Yeah, it was a dreadful movie, but it made money.
Oh yeah, it was horrible, but it still made $760 million.
You'll get another Thor because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And we're still we're not gonna. It's not like they're gonna stop doing Thor movies at all.
I do think Warner Brothers should have took the approach like the Transformers movie, for even though your movies are not well received, but your movies are making tons of money, and had they had gone through that direction, Justice League, have they released the version that Snyder intended, it would have probably made $1 billion. I just
it could have, especially if they divided it up. I mean,
Well, they shouldn't have.
Hey, we got Brad showing up right now.
Hey. I missed out last night, but
it was. Yeah, we were kind of full up when
I mentioned that. Yeah.
Well, there was somebody that was supposed to show up last night that didn't. They're that guy. But,
oh, you were gonna have Zach on last night? Oh, you didn't tell me.
Yeah, he wanted to talk about the Superman trailer. No, that would be interesting though if he did. And then,
the $1 billion standard, $1 billion.
That would blow up the internet if that happened. And he's just like,
I'm sure he'll get asked about it soon, like directly after us doing.
Yeah, he'll probably give us report about it.
He sold some shares. He's so happy about it.
I saw something on Twitter, right? I saw something on Twitter where somebody made a fan-made viral thing, and Zack Snyder says praising the Superman.
I saw that somebody made it, and it said something about like, no, we don't need this to be, we don't need the Snyderverse to be restored. This has so much sauce. I think I know who did make that. A certain somebody I used to be following. We follow each other, but now we don't like each other, of course. But I think I know who made that. Maybe not. Maybe it was one of the jokey accounts. I don't know. But I saw that too, and it was just like, oh, come on, And some people were actually believing it, which I hate that. I'm like, come on.
It's on Twitter. You got to believe it,
Of course, I know. But, it's just – but at the same time, I'm going, the first interview that Zach has, they're going to ask him about it, of course. And he's going to be cordial. He's going to be like, I like James. I do, and it looks good and blah, blah, blah. He's going to say all that as he does.
When they
it's like we had David Ayers supporting him. And people got to be ready for that. So certain people got to be ready for that. Don't start, dogpiling and getting all upset about it. The way it is, filmmakers support other filmmakers.
And also follow the lead of the fans.
Most of the time,
that's people you got to follow.
Most of the time they tend to. Most of the time they tend to.
Well, at least
sorry. And also, again, it's like what I was like half joking about the whole Zack Snyder's the blueprint thing, but really. The trailer does emphasize that Gunn does respect what Zack was going for with his take on Superman. Now, it's not the same thing. Gunn's doing his vision. but he is giving nods of respect to what Zack was going for. Like the whole idea of the public, or at least a portion of the public, turning against Superman. Like that's now a big thing, a big theme to look at.
Themes. Yeah.
The idea of like his personal struggling with his personal conflicts, wondering like, do I really have what it takes to keep going on? Well, again, Zack Snyder was like that was a central point in his in Zack's take. You know, Gunn's taking it and running with it. But again,
I watched the trailer again today, and like one thing that stood out to me is that other than like the scenes where he's with Lois, he pretty much is getting like abused and like spat on and taking a lot of crap in the street. It's like when he's with Lois, it's happy. Every other time, it's like it's just a bad day for him, and that's which is really and again, as other people have commented, it's that he only has the one line of take me home, Krypto, and again he really seems to be dealing with some hardship in this, and doesn't smile once, which again it's like that's not the be all and end all for Superman, for me, and I don't think it should be for anybody, but that was the thing that really stood out to me was the public there being a mob mad at him for whatever reason, and that he does seem to this is emphasizing that there's some kind of struggle he's going through on a philosophical level part of the movie story. So that really jumped out to me. I suppose I should go ahead and give my full thoughts on the trailer.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Overall, it's as far as like introducing, like a new version of Superman, that was a pretty good start. This is not, it's not establishing like what this movie is going to be like story wise or what it's doing for the larger franchise. But that's what's the purpose for this trailer. This is establishing tone and feel and just what the what the vibe of this movie is going to be, and just on that level, it's like I think it largely got the job done. I'm still not feeling the suit. The suit is definitely as far as like the aesthetic. It's my biggest hang up as far as the aesthetic of it. I mean, that could change. I mean, but we'll see with it. I'm really interested in what that whole kaiju fight's going to look like. The other heroes in it. I mean, Guy Gardner is Guy Gardner. Hawk Girl. Interested in seeing their place in it too, because
Terrific.
Mr. Terrific too. Yeah, it does look it's got some good action in it too. So that's that's something I'm very that post Man of Steel. I'm definitely I'm definitely of the opinion. It's like with Superman, it's like I need some good action scenes in it, and this looks like it's probably going to deliver on that. But with Krypto, I think can go either way, as far because he's the cape is kind of like a bit much for me. As far as it's like the whole.
Yeah, I was wondering. That was one of my first reactions. Like, he does have the cape, okay? Because like in that first image that we saw, he wasn't wearing the cape.
Exactly. Yeah. And then going back a bit to the suit, I'm kind of at a point now where it's like I'm just kind of beyond the trunks. The S shield on the cape, I can I can go either way on that. So it's like so we'll see what's all about in this. I did find it interesting that he said there is some kind of Top Gun Maverick influence on this, and you actually kind of see that a little bit more so in the trailer teaser when it's got like those shots of Superman flying, and those definitely look kind of harken back to Top Gun Maverick, but. In all, as far as like the marketing, I think not a bad start. I'm interested to see what this is going to be all about, and I mean we'll definitely be there when the movie's out. So.
There you go. Jade, give me your initial thoughts of the trailer.
Okay, so personally, I've always been a Cavill fan, of course.
Yeah.
And first looking at the suit, I also pretty much wasn't really a fan. It just looks too thick for me. The material just didn't really look like I like. Comparing Corn Sweat's and Cavill's suit, I like the muscle definition. Like we can tell that Corn Sweat's been obviously hitting the gym and everything, but I think the suit just kind of pretty much hides all the progress that he's pretty much made. But in regards to the trailer, I thought it was honestly pretty fine. I like the more inclusion of lanterns and live actions. And with Krypto, I didn't mind the cape. You know, it's I guess one of those looks that I don't really care for personally.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, I don't really know about the whole kaiju fight. I personally rather see more action with Soups and Luther, honestly.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
other than that, honestly, other than that, I thought it was pretty fine.
Okay.
I'm definitely still going to be sitting at day one just to pretty much see how everything plays off and everything.
Cool. Taladio, give me your initial thoughts.
Well, I really enjoyed the trailer. I'm a Snyder fan, but I'm a DC fan first and foremost.
Yeah.
So when I saw this trailer, it really was like it James Gunn surprised me. He took this trailer, he made it serious. Like, there was no jokes in there. It was all like there was different shots, and I'm just like, yes, this is what a Superman trailer should be. It shouldn't be like jokiness. There shouldn't be like, Starman music or some other music. And
people keep on putting that over footage. I'm like, stop.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm glad that James Gunn didn't put that in there.
And he debunked it. He says, I'm not using that. It's been fucked up. You know, it's like, come on.
So that was cool. I dig Lois Lane. I thought she was amazing in the trailer. I also thought that it was great to see Pa Kent also in the trailer. I'm also going to see Metamorpho. I didn't see Metamorpho until the second time I watched it because I had to watch it twice because the second time I catched it. But yeah, overall though, I really enjoyed it, and I'm definitely watching this day one without a shadow of a doubt, and definitely because I'm a Superman fan, so of course I'm just like, I have to check it out, and I'm all there for trying new things and seeing if it leads me to something exciting or whatnot.
Yeah. Sorry, I just giggled a little bit because I saw like D-Man7 said, "Can anyone confirm that Krypto is male?" Like, I don't know, I'm like, has he lifted his leg? Yeah. And I worry about that because it is James Gunn. He's gonna have him pee on somebody. I'm like, don't do that, please. Don't do that. No, I hope he doesn't do that. Where he just ends up
they did make a pretty good joke out of that in John Wick 4, so I could.
True, yeah. I'm just like, don't do it, James. Don't have him pee on somebody. Let's not. Yeah, we don't need.
Not even really a dog. He's as much a dog as a human. So
exactly. So it's like, I think you could leave the pee gag out of there. And
why it worked for Batman and Robin.
But also, I forgot to mention also Krypto with the cape. That was a cool thing.
You liked it? Okay. I mean, I'm okay with it. Yeah. I thought, oh yeah, good. He doesn't have the cape. That might be a little bit much when we saw that the motion poster for that. But then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, he does have the cape, and I'm like, all right, I don't hate it, but I just thought maybe they won't have the cape. Maybe the cape was too much, but apparently he does have the cape. So I don't know. And my whole thing is like, and I was saying this last night, is like when you see him, pulling Superman. I mean, it's a cool looking shot. I've seen like people make gifs at it and they love it. I'm just going, all right, there's got to be a needle drop song that is happening during that. There's going to be a thing where we're seeing him drag Superman, which is, to be honest,
yippee.
It could be something like that. But there's no way that, I'm calling it right now. There is one of the needle drops that Gunn definitely put on that shot, and it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be because honestly, I was thinking about this last night too, or even today, where I'm like, man, it is kind of cool. Like, it's kind of funny that we're gonna get a live action movie where Krypto is dragging Superman through the snow, and he's just getting dragged, and I'm like, yeah. That's just to me. That was actually like the funniest part of the trailer, because it's a serious trailer, but that part is kind of funny for that quick little 1.2 seconds where you see that.
Guy Gardner's hair is always going to be.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
It's either what you mentioned with Krypto. or Guy Gardner's fuck awful bowl cut. Oh my god! Like, and that's the thing. It's intentionally supposed to look that bad.
Did you see this right here? Like Nathan Fillion actually posted it. He's totally leaning into it. It's pretty good. Like he
oh god.
Oh god.
Oh, that's
did you see there's also that one meme going around that has him from the trailer, and it has Uncle Fester from Addams Family that has with the wig on.
Yeah,
no,
Adam
I didn't see it on Twitter. I saw it on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. Whoop. Jade's being summoned.
Jade's being summoned.
But Tony, did I get your initial thoughts on the trailer?
No, you didn't.
Okay, go ahead.
To give my initial thoughts of it, and I'm like you. I've been following this film from day one, since it was announced, and even from the production stills that I've seen. And yes, I too am a huge Henry Cavill fan, even though that I do love Superman 1 and 2, and Christopher Reeve is a phenomenal Superman. Man of Steel will always be my favorite Superman. Like that was a Superman movie that I never knew I needed, but it was a phenomenal. I thought it was so good. And I was a bit upset when Henry Cavill was out, even though like he was announced himself that he was going to be coming back, and this was all before when James Gunn and Peter Safran took over, which again, don't know if that was the best idea to bring him back in Black Adam, but it's what it is. But besides that, I kind of got over it a little bit. Like I've kind of moved on from the whole Snyderverse, and I'm all for this new DCU, and I just hope it does very well because I really like this trailer because it definitely gave me both Donner and Snyder feels at the same time a little bit. And if he can balance that very well to where it's a little bit of an homage to Donner, but being its own thing, like, and using some like Snyder's influence in it, then I'm going to be totally fine with it. And I wouldn't even be mad if they played the John Williams theme. I know Brad's not a big fan of that, but
I didn't say I'm not a bit. I say I just don't want you to copy and paste it. And by the way, it's like I told Williams, like the way they one thing I said is okay. If you absolutely, positively can't not indulge this, this actually was a pretty good way to do it with the guitar version of it.
Yes.
They just integrating a couple of the chords into it and kind of the larger orchestral score. That was a good way to do it, but it's like I've never said I don't like the Williams theme. I just don't want it to be plugged into every Superman every time.
Yeah, I think you'll have a bigger problem with the Donner tone than you would the actual Donner theme because
Donner, if it's executed well, if it's not like in Superman Returns in 2006, then I think it will be fine.
Yeah, and also Justice League. Yeah, but when they just like slap that, when they just put that theme in there, and that's what I even said too in my initial, like even with my review. I'm like, well, at least they didn't just, hey, let's just put the actual theme in there and not even touch it. They did a guitar version, and we had a different version at least. So I'm like, okay.
Well, even David Cornsweet, I think looks great, and I haven't seen him walk from the guy. Like I seen him in Look Both Ways and Trifters, and he was fine in both movies. Yeah, but I really think he's going to be a great Superman. Like I think he has the potential to be up there with both Cavill and Reeve for me. But I have to see. Yeah. But overall, it's a great trailer. I really liked it a lot.
It's funny because, like I said this last night, when it comes to the Williams theme, and I love John Williams. I kind of like Indy, but I like Star Wars. I like Jurassic Park, all of his other stuff. I could give a fuck about the Williams theme in Superman. But when it was done here under a guitar, I was like, oh, I like this better. It's like, and I mentioned again this last night, and even Dave kind of caught on to what I was getting at. It's like, I like it in the same way that I like Johnny Cash's rendition of Hurt as opposed to 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
And to me, this version of the Williams theme, I'm like, oh, well, this fits. And it sounds cool, but I'm not a fan of like using that theme in marketing, and obviously even the font for the trailer is like, okay, it's super just fucking right on the goddamn nose. Let's not talk about Black Adam.
I like Black Adam. I will defend that movie to my dying day.
I know, but let's not talk about it.
Not terrible. Not terrible, but we're talking about the cameo when you hear the hint of the Williams.
And they did that in Shazam a bit too, with the headless cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels so cheap. Like it just felt so cheap for both of those.
And like in a way, I think Gunn is recognized like, no, we're not gonna fucking do that.
Yeah.
Because look at what happened every time you've done it before.
That's why I'm glad that the DC is rebooting, because at least now, like, we don't have to have a scenario where we don't have to have like a headless cameo. Oh, like a Justice League cameo where you can't even get all the actors in Peacemaker, only like 2, which that kind of annoyed me. But yeah, that's why I'm all for this whole reboot in the first place, because stuff like this should never happen.
Don't say that word around William. Just don't say that word around William.
Well, luckily he's not there.
No, he'll come back if I do my Adam Sandler impression, as he did during the Violent Night watch party we were doing earlier.
Oh, you guys watched Violent Night today?
Yeah, we did. We did.
Yeah, we did.
That's on Netflix, right? It's on Netflix.
That's a good question. I don't know if it's on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
I just pulled it up from my Amazon.
I totally forget. I forgot about that movie because I put on Christmas with the Cranks on Hulu.
Oh God, that movie's horrible, man.
Yeah, I just put it on. I was like, fuck it. There's a Christmas movie.
Hey, how dare you, Brad? I love Christmas with the Cranks, man.
Oh yeah, right on cue, Chappie.
I love that movie, man. How dare you?
Let's have a discussion about no. We just brought up Reboot, William. Oops, sorry.
Chappie, just bear in mind, Brad doesn't have very good taste. He doesn't even like scary movies. So,
thank you.
Reboot, and as far as what goes, what are we talking about?
Chappie was saying when you stepped away, it's like this is why they're rebooting because the headless cameos and the chaos they threw the whole franchise into.
Justice League and like Peacemaker and like all those. That's why it's a good thing that they have new actors now.
Like I said, it is what it is. But once again, I think he's got a thread of the line with, like I said, the Donner stuff. Because if we look at Donner stuff in the abstract, we don't look like how it would sit here in 2024. Those movies were my favorite, but there's no way in hell I would want to recreate that completely. So I'm glad that he's taking references from Fleischer, a whole bunch of other things. But if there's one that I would least the ingredient I would least add to this, it would be the Donner stuff, because like I said, it doesn't age well.
Yeah,
I think Superman 2 still aged well. I disagree on that.
Superman 2 does not age well, and I'm a big fan of that movie.
Which cut?
The Donner cut.
The only one that ever needed to be made.
Either the Donner cut.
It's superior version.
Obvious joke is obvious. Never mind.
Okay, Donner. Okay, let's recap. Donner cut has Lois in order to expose, Clark, get Clark to admit that he's Superman. Does the whole thing with the gun, and it's like, you realize, of course, that if you'd been wrong, Clark Kent would have been killed with a blank. Gotcha. Well, okay, lady, I hate to tell you this, and I hate to tell Donner this, but if Superman would have felt the bullet bouncing off, or we would have noticed that there was no bullet bouncing off if it was a blank. And also, don't get me started about the fact that the Donner cut ends with him going back in time again.
I didn't need
but that wasn't intentional. That was
intentional or not. It is the ending.
The Superman 2 that I saw at Man's Chinese Theater in 1980. That was the one. This is the only one I needed.
With the Saran wrap S.
It works. What'd you say?
Well,
does it?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
I love when Family Guy made fun of it. Did you guys see when Family Guy made fun of that? Where he throws it and then what was that? He's all, that stopped you, didn't it? Yeah, it's so funny. Anyway,
there was some dumb stuff in the theatrical, absolutely, but I will say again, the ending of the theatrical one is a great ending where he brings the flag to the president and he goes, "Mr. President, I'm sorry for being away for so long, and I won't fail you again." Like, that's a great moment. I mean, I don't know why Donner didn't go screw it and just keep that ending.
Well,
it wasn't
that was the original ending that was planned for Superman 2, and then because they were they were making both at once.
Yes.
And then the budget was just completely out of control, so they decided to just focus on one, and they used that ending for one. And then when he got to do the Donner cut, it was like, well, okay, because the Donner cut, he didn't, unlike the Snyder cut, he didn't finish principal photography, so he had supplemented with stuff like this, lesser.
But still, honestly, But still, honestly, like just using it twice just underlines how the going back in time thing was a stupid ending regardless. Because once you go back in time, you have completely destroyed all suspense for anything future that Superman would do and anything Superman would go through in the future. Because if something happens, he can just go back in time and fix it.
Well, my bigger thing with that ending too is that when he does that because he wasn't able to reach both missiles. Okay, look at a map of the Earth. Like they're like this far apart from each other on the map of California. Why couldn't he get both missiles if he could fly that fast?
Yeah.
Which cut had Superman kissing Lois Lane and then she forgets everything? Which one is
that?
The
lesser cut. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's stupid too.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's stupid too.
That's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. That makes absolutely zero sense whatsoever, and it is fucking
Agreed.
stupid.
That's why I prefer the Donner cut.
Well, and
that's cut out.
Here's the only good Superman movie with Christopher Reeve in it. Superman the movie. There, I said it.
Wait,
there, I fucking said it.
I love Superman.
No,
no. Some fan edits.
You will kneel before Zod. Get the fuck out of here.
Terrence Stamp, like, it doesn't age well, but it's
so dumb.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, there have been several fan edits of Superman 2 where they take, the how the editor sees as the better versions of each moment and then like edits it together so it is a better movie, and they are better movies, like these fan edits. But yeah,
well, I just don't need 1980 all over again. That because, like I said, as somebody who loves Superman 2, I look at it now and I'm like, "Oh shit, that would just not work."
And I respect.
And I don't care what anybody says. Superman 4, Nuclear Man.
Oh my god!
Hey, right? Okay, on that end, I my watch order is Superman Quest for Peace. Superman 2.
You have got to be kidding me!
Shut your mouth.
Wow. Hey, you know what?
No, it's exactly what Dave said because of fucking Nuclear Man. And
Nuclear Man's cool.
And that speech he gives, that fucking speech he gives. Look, of all those 4 movies, easily the best thing in them is Christopher Reeve. That's a no fucking brainer right there. But man,
this is what makes all those movies watchable.
Sure. Except Superman 3, because that's just not great.
Yeah,
Superman 3. Richard Pryor movie.
That was a Richard Pryor movie, with
But you know what, you guys like. The funny thing is, like what you brought up, William, about like the issues with Donner, how we look at Donner today. The irony is, wasn't it when Donner later on actually worked on some Superman comics, and the comics that he was working on actually is more along the lines of what we got from Zach and from Henry Cavill in a way. Like he was like, as the years went by, he was going for, because he was all about verisimilitude, about reality. And now at the time there was like more like cornball stuff because like that was what people wanted at the time. But it's like as the years went on, he's like, no, I want to be more realistic. I want to be more Superman in the real world.
Yeah, and he took certain aspects and moved it forward. But like I said, as those movies as they stand, I saw 2 in the movies. I was too young for the original one. I saw 2 in the movies, and like I said, this is a memorable experience. And I don't love those movies any less. But I just don't feel. I mean, 6-year-old me was great. I cheered and hooped and hollered. Older me is like, that's like me going back and putting on my underoos again. I just don't need to do it.
I think a big part of that too, when you talk about the aging of the Christopher Reeve movies, is it's going back to like the Saran Wrap S is that they or the Amnesia Kiss is that they're not very consistent when it comes to his powers. They really just kind of make up powers wherever he like. If he needs something to for this situation, he just has like telekinesis, or they could do this or that. It's not Superman, in media sense. His power set has been very defined and very set in stone. And with the Donnerverse movies, it really was just, it's like, okay, it's like he can basically do anything. He can spin the Earth backwards. He could take his shield off and just throw it like it's made of plastic, and it just whatever the situation called for, he could do it. And that really that doesn't translate well to today, or Superman just
not at all.
Yeah,
just any power, any situation, just we make it up on the spot.
But you see, bringing it back to the amnesia,
the look, the feel, the whole thing.
I mean, the only thing that annoys me, and this is coming from the Superman fandom, like why is there so many people only view Christopher Reeve as like the gold standard? Like, can't we accept? Can't we like? Hold on, but I can't. Wait, who's talking?
We got some echo going on right now.
Yeah. What's going on?
Uh-oh. Who's got the echoing going on? Am I mute your mic?
You might mute yourself, Chappie. There you go.
You might mute yourself, Chappie. Nope, it's not
me.
Oh, it might be Jade. Is it Eric?
No, I had my muted for a second.
Is that me?
It's not Jade. It's not Tony.
It's not
Eric. It might be yours again. Yeah, it's Eric. Yep.
Yeah.
Chappie.
Is that me?
No, it's not you. I think it was Eric's actually that was doing that.
Chappie,
Yeah.
you basically answered your own question. Superman,
Yeah.
Phantom, Christopher Reeve. That's it. That's
I know,
just
but
it right
like
there.
when we
Superman,
have
Phantom.
other great unique takes like Superman and Lois and like Man of Steel, like people always have to complain. They're like, "Oh, it's not Christopher Reeve. Oh, Christopher Reeve is the gold standard. Like that's what it needs to be. And if it's not that, then it's a failure." Or, I don't know.
Because that moment, they take it personally. Like I said, that moment was their Christopher Reeves, and any altering of that is like people take it personally. Like I said, that was my Superman as a 6-year-old. I'm a grown ass man now, so I need something, different as I grow into that, But that doesn't mean those were any less. But people get territorial. They make these comic book characters part of their identity, and I don't think that's healthy. And I'm sitting in the middle of all this, but I see people that make these stories and these characters as part of their identity. And when you say you don't like a certain version, you're basically saying you don't like me or you don't like my. I'm like, no, it's not that personal, dude. It's an opinion on a fictional character that flies around now with a dog with a cape, which is fucking ridiculous, but that's fine. But it's not that serious. And we're going to war. I think Andy was in the chat. Somebody death threats over comic book characters.
Yeah.
Guys.
Well, and then of course apparently there's the David Ayer thing too and stuff like that. Hey AJ, thank you for the $50 super chat. I'm for a united DC community and for what makes sense when Superman makes money and this train starts rolling as James Gunn. I'm getting a good writer for I'm getting a good writer for Zack Snyder Elseworlds Superman. Okay, so you're making something. That's pretty cool.
Oh,
it makes sense. It fits like a glove. Fan of many here. So, well, thank you, sir. And if you're making something, hey, that's what it's all about. Continuing some Snyderverse stuff on your own. There's nothing wrong with that. I love it when people do that stuff. All right, you're back, Eric. Test. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, because I figured it was me because just before, like everyone's talking about, there was an echo. Like it looks like everyone's face froze up for a bit.
There might have been a glitch in the matrix a little bit. Yeah, but it happens. And then watch out, we got Jose, Guy Gardner's barber.
Oh fuck!
Oh, the guy
who it is?
Carrie. Hello.
No way. No way, Jose.
No way, Jose. You're muted. You're muted, Jose.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you now.
What's up, bruh?
Oh, what's up, people? How you doing?
What's up?
Good.
Worst barber in the world.
We got a fucking Dodgers fan in here.
Yeah,
If you're gonna say the Dodgers, remember to say World Series
champions. Yeah, please. World Series champions.
Excuse the fuck out of me. Sir. My humblest apologies.
Hold on.
I mean, they should get it. They paid for it, right?
More money and didn't win it. So there,
I love it.
I'm sorry. It smells like broken here. I'm sorry. Your team's broken.
Oh man.
Right.
I mean, that's funny. I know you're joking, but it's funny when people say that. It's like, isn't that the whole point?
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to be paying for the best players?
It's part of the business, yes, I know. But it is getting ridiculous, though. I mean,
every one of these owners is a multi-billionaire. So it's like, it's not like it's me. You're competing with me, trying to, and I'm competing with the Dodgers payroll. No, every single one of these owners is a multi-billionaire. So I don't feel sorry for any of them. Spend the money or get out.
Yeah.
If you have the money, you might as well. Let's just hope the league still pulls in the money because apparently the NBA is like struggling right now. I didn't realize.
That's because the game needs to be changed. There's too many people shooting 3-pointers, and that was cool.
I saw that.
It's just, and I'm a fan of the NBA. And yeah,
somebody made that comment on my feed where it was like they blame Steph Curry for making 3-pointers so cool because now everybody's trying to do it and they have been trying to do it and they kind of suck at it. I don't know. It's like,
well, even when you make a 3-pointer, it's just not the most exciting play. It's a low percentage shot.
It depends on when it is.
No running up and down the court, long rebounds. It takes away. And
I'll say this much though: Steph Curry is 10 times the fucking basketball player LeBron is.
Ooh,
Oh yeah.
oh, you just pissed off like
That's fired. That's fired.
It's not going to matter the hardware. I mean, the guy's all-time leading. His record speaks for itself. People don't have to defend LeBron.
LeBron is a physical specimen, though. He's a physical beast.
He is.
LeBron is a fucking
playing. He's about to turn 40 and looking like
he's
that.
a fucking joke, and he will never be what Michael Jordan was to basketball. Someone hand me an Infinity Gauntlet. I'll throw that shit on the ground right fucking now.
But yeah, we're talking about Superman, right? Yeah, because
I
can't be on. It just came on real quick.
You see, this is why I focus on the NFL.
What are you gonna say, Jose?
No, I just wanted to comment real quick. I can't be on here for long. Just wanted to share my thoughts on this.
Yeah, give us your thoughts,
please.
I hated it. Restore the Snyderverse. Release the Wand cut. No, I'm just kidding. It was all right. Can I say that? Can I say it was all right? Like, am I gonna get attacked by a mob of people?
No, you're not gonna get attacked.
Can I say it was all right?
Yeah.
It's I mean, my main issue was the cinematography and the the camera they're using, and I mean, it does remind me of the Flash. I enjoyed the Flash, but yeah, some of the shots were a little jarring in that, and then I got the same vibe here with this trailer.
Shot by the same guy, Henry Brand.
Yeah, I know. It's the same. It's the same cinematographer. So, which is funny because he's also done the Guardians movie. And the Guardians movie, I mean, at least the Guardians 3 look like this. I don't remember Guardians 3.
No, Guardians 3 look really good. Yeah,
it's the best one of the three IMO.
The suit is just, I've never been a Trunks guy. I can't get past the Trunks. And but it was all right. I thought it was all right. I'm gonna watch it. I'm not hating on it. I just for me, the main thing is like it's hard to enjoy any of the stuff that comes out because of the fandom. Like the fandom just ruins everything. Both sides of the fandom ruin everything because you can't enjoy anything because everybody wants to compare everything. Everybody wants to shit on everything to hype up, the new thing. And I'm just like, look, man, let's just let the movie do the talking. And because it's a 2.5. First of all, the teaser, the 30-second teaser that they dropped.
Yeah,
I don't know why they dropped that. I don't know why they even showed what they showed in that teaser. Because it's like the shots of the crowd was like, I was like, am I watching Black Adam? Is this like the piss yellow filter from Black Adam? Like, what is this? And
it did. Those shots
didn't do it any favors. But then this dropped, and I'm just like, okay. It's just funny to me because I'm like, everyone's like, oh, this Superman is giving me this and it's giving me hope and it's giving me, and I'm just like, the man did not smile once in this trailer.
Oh,
the man did not look happy at all in this trailer. He's getting yelled at by the crowd and getting stuff thrown at him. And I'm like, hey, that seems kind of familiar. And, but I'm very curious. I mean, it's just a teaser trailer. There's no dialogue. There's no plot points or anything being shown. So, no gun jokes, which I'm sure there will be in the next trailer.
Oh, yeah, the next trailer will have it for sure.
But yeah, the main thing for me is just the people, the fans. It's just you gotta ignore all that shit. There's just too many people talking shit and wanting to, shit on Zach and shit on Henry. And it's like let's see what the movie does. Also, it's like the whole trailer views and all this and that. I'm just like, I'm over that too. Like all day yesterday, I'm just seeing everything is about trailer views and this and that. I'm like, that's nice, that's fine, but let's just wait for the movie to come out. Yeah. Just because it has all these trailer views doesn't mean, because I know it's not comparable, but I mean, wasn't like the Acolyte trailer like the most watched trailer for like Star Wars? So it had like 50 million views or something.
Well, I mean, like
for the Acolyte. And then I saw something about the Acolyte trailer view had like 50 million views or something. And then that show, I mean, who watched that show? Like,
I did.
I mean, not a lot of people.
I actually kind of enjoyed it. It was flawed, but I enjoyed it.
It's just everyone is just
one of the best Star Wars shows they've ever made.
It's like I don't know. The fandom, it just looks like it's like a pissing contest all the time with what's
there's
this and that.
Oh, for
and
sure.
so I'm let's wait to see what the movie. I mean, I'm a DC fan. I'm a Superman fan. Batman is my number one, but Superman is my number two. And it's good. It's good for DC. It's good for Superman. I just hope that it shows up when it comes to the box office. and because they need it. Like I've been saying since the beginning, like Gunn is under a lot of pressure. And I don't know what article came out that he did an interview or they asked him, and he's like that they were on set and they're like, "How are you feeling?" He's like, "I'm miserable."
Yeah.
Like I'm miserable because it's like he has a lot of pressure on him.
Oh, I did not kick him out. I swear to God.
Yeah,
I had
so
to
much
give
pressure.
what the hell? That was weird. Maybe I did. I did not. I maybe
with Brad.
The
I don't know
Giant
what
fan
happened.
came
No.
out and you did.
I know,
That
right?
was the Giant, yeah.
I am sorry.
No, that there's a lot of pressure for this movie to do well, and
Yeah.
not even like not a billion. I'm not expecting this movie to make a billion. If it makes a billion, then wow.
That'd be
If it
crazy.
becomes if it beats Aquaman, then which is funny. We live in a timeline where Aquaman is the most highest grossing DC movie, and it has yet to be dethroned. So we'll see. I want to see more. Like I want to see more. I want to see more of the. I want to hear. I want to see the dialogue. But as far as like, I mean, like I said, like he's not smiling. He's very serious. But David is. I mean, he's killing it with the acting, just with his face alone. So like I can believe him that he's going through something, in this movie.
Yeah.
And I just want to, I want to get to. I think the teaser trailer was like they just threw everything out there that's gonna be in the movie. That's what we saw, every single character, that's
Yeah.
gonna be in the movie. I'm sure the next one is gonna be more Superman centric and like Superman and Lois centric.
And we get
And
context of the story, and yeah.
yeah,
this is just
so
a
it's
teaser.
gonna be a long wait for the movie, and it's gonna be maybe 3 more trailers. I mean, 2 more trailers, right? Maybe the Super Bowl trailer, and then another one like a month before it comes out. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
But
There'll be 2
yeah,
more at least.
the thing is, I just like I said, like the cinematography. I'm just like I miss movies whenever like I'm a widescreen guy. Like I like movies that are widescreen. Like I don't. I'm not. I think all the movies nowadays are just like they're made for IMAX, right? So it's like the full screen. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I miss the
70
bars, the
millimeter.
black bars on the top and the bottom, with the widescreen movies.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I saw people talking about CGI. I mean, I didn't see any. I mean, if you guys
I
tell
thought
me,
the
like, if there's-
CGI looked pretty good, to be honest.
I
All the
mean,
CGI.
so Crypto's all CGI.
Yeah, he looks
Wow.
like he is. I don't know. Like, I
Nice.
think, as far as I could tell, there was no set pictures of
Is
him.
it Sean Gunn? Was Sean Gunn Crypto? Or?
Yeah, he's crouched down. And fucking.
Was Sean Gunn's in the movie too, right? He's in the movie too.
Yeah, because they totally have a dog perfectly trained to do bit by bit, like grab the cape and drag scoops.
They could.
Hey,
That would actually not be a bad.
Don't underestimate dogs. I mean, how they can be
They
trained.
could be smart like that, but no, I
Cat,
think
Cat would have left him for dead, but yeah.
Yeah. There was a meme going around that had that where he's like trying to get the cat to show up, and the cat's just like taking his time.
Oh, that was.
And then he just like dies. It's like, yeah. The cat would be like, "What? I don't care. Here's my ass."
Nah, but I mean, just to end it, it's all right. It was all right to me. It looked good. Some of the shots are really good. My favorite shot was the one where he saves the girl.
Yeah.
Even though it looked like he kind of bent her a little, I don't know, a little hard there, but it's a comic book movie.
Tell that to God's neck. Yeah, I know.
It looks. I want to see more. I want to see more. I just hate how it's always like, this trailer is the greatest trailer ever, and it's better than all of these movies that have come from the past. And it's like, people just need to. I don't know. People just do that for attention, or they're just trying to start shit. It's just so dumb.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's gonna be, we just have to ignore that shit until July when it comes out, and then see what happens. So, I'm looking forward to it.
That's good. And thank you for cutting Guy Gardner's hair too. By the way.
Oh, I'm still working. I mean, I'm a rookie, so what do you guys think?
That showed.
Yeah. No, I totally.
Look, man, I just put a bowl on him and did my thing, and that was it. Came out all right.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see more, so can't wait.
No, man. I mean, that's pretty much, I think, where a lot of people are at, Yeah, I mean, but obviously, I know I get it's like there's like the numbers thing and stuff like that, and there's all that stuff. But yeah, it's like I even was responding to people today and yesterday. I was like, yeah, well, let's see like if it translates. I mean, there's a good chance it will translate, hopefully. But I mean, July is a tough fucking month next year.
We need to reverse that meme of DC fans in theaters. We need to, we need to get the reverse of that meme. DC fans need to show up.
I think that.
And
well, you're giving them Superman. When you give them the B characters, people don't even going to show up. You give me the wrong guy with the wrong emblem on his chest. Just because he has a cape and comply doesn't mean I'm going to show up. People want the prime rib. They don't want the baloney. You know.
That's like Wonder Twins.
Yeah.
What's that?
Whoever came up with that really should not get hired again.
Walter Hamada.
Whoever greenlit, let's do the Wonder Twins.
Wonder Twins.
Yeah,
that was Hamada.
You literally should be putting pepperonis on a pizza right now.
You know, not to compare though, but but I think like sorry, Phil. I'll let you. Let me wrap.
That's how I feel about Blue Beetle. That was
Blue Beetle was all right, but that's the thing though. That's the problem. Like William's always been preaching that, and I've agreed with William. Like that was the problem with DC. They weren't focusing on the big dogs. On the Trinity, number one, the Trinity. Like you have to.
Well, do you think it was because Justice League was such a huge disaster? Like they were kind of scared to like use those characters.
That was
it's a number of things.
It was that.
It's a number of things.
Pretty sure it was that.
Because the characters were like damaged and they didn't want to touch them anymore.
It's a number of things, right? Because number one, Marvel Studios made their bread and butter off of the B-listers and turned them into A-listers. Number two, Batman and Superman already have a ton of cinematic baggage attached to them, so it's a little bit more difficult to try and do stuff with them on the big screen that hasn't been done before, yet make it still fresh and exciting. That's why Man of Steel didn't get a traditional Superman solo sequel where we saw Superman fight fucking Mongol or Brainiac, Metallo, whatever, right? Yeah. And same with Ben Affleck's Batman. Ben Affleck signed up to be Batman in BVS and then a couple Justice League movies and a solo Batman movie.
Suicide Squad was a bonus. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So it's kind of a tougher situation. And then on top of the fact, like that's just it. Like that's their biggest. It's a double-edged sword because people want to see the big DC Trinity, and that's it. You have to get people to give a fuck about the Flash, about Green Lantern, about fucking Aquaman. And look what happened with Aquaman. Aquaman made a fucking $1 billion
because people gave a fuck.
People gave a
fuck. Of course, the sequel, not so much.
The thing about Marvel, when they like a lot of people think that Marvel just came along in 2008 and they took B-list characters and did that. I would contend that those aren't necessarily the B-list characters that people think about in that context. But you also have to look at, by the time we got to 2008, the Marvel brand, because people don't know about Marvel Studios, the average citizen had been looking at the Marvel brand since Spider-Man and X-Men. And by the time you got to 2008, that brand was mostly successful and trusted. So it made 2008 a lot easier. They didn't just, shit out 2008 and say, here's Iron Man. By the time you got to that, they could do that with their non-Fantastic Four or Spider-Man type of characters like that because they had earned the trust prior to that. Had there not been those movies of various different levels, you may have a harder case to make in 2008.
It's a yes and no thing, only because Kevin Feige was producing a lot lot movies across Sony and Fox. So it's yes and no. Like my point more specific was like just the house that Marvel Studios themselves have built is purely predicated on the likes of Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America. Straight up, like the beams and pillars of the MCU are built on the backs of those three characters. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm coming.
And then Creature Commandos showed them all dead.
I think kind of cool. Let me just say, I'm about to leave right now, so let me just say one last thing.
Yeah.
I just don't want. I don't want. Yeah, I'm wrapping it up. I don't want. Like that's the thing. I'm not fearing, but I'm just concerned about the slate that Gunn's putting out there too. Because he's putting out a lot of these B-list, C-list characters out there, with like the Sergeant Rock, and then I love Swamp Thing, but Swamp Thing is not up there, when it comes to DC characters. Like I want the focus to be on the Justice League, like obviously we're gonna get a Superman movie, we're gonna get a Batman movie, but where's the Wonder Woman movie? Like, is it just too soon?
They haven't done the casting yet.
Well,
Like,
they
is
have
it
the
gonna be
show that they're
no?
gonna
And like Supergirl's getting a movie, right? Like that's already gonna start filming next year. They got the show, but apparently she's not gonna be in the show. Like I want to like focus on the big. Like let's not do what Hamada was doing. Let's focus on the big characters, and then bring in the other ones, right? So that's what I want because it's like we got what was just announced. Sergeant Rock and Clayface, a Clayface movie, right?
I don't think
People,
you know
and
what's
then
funny is
people
like
are.
Gunn hasn't confirmed Sergeant Rock, right?
He hasn't confirmed Sergeant Rock, and he hasn't
confirmed
Titans.
He confirmed Clayface.
Yeah,
he confirmed Clayface for sure.
Yeah. So
see what
anyways,
Marvel's
continue.
done is they've used their A-listers to support their B-listers, and their B-listers in turn support it. It's interdependency. Because, like I said, you do not get the talking raccoon and the talking tree. If you come in there with that as your first movie, you're probably going to get locked out of the office and escorted to the elevator. But because it was 9th to 10th movie and it had the support and credibility of a universe, it got a shot. You know, and that's the way. You know, you have to use your big, your guns to highlight everything else.
It was a gamble at the time. Guardians of the Galaxy was the biggest gamble after Avengers.
I mean, Gunn thought it was gonna flop. I think Gunn
a lot
said
of people
thought
thought it was
without
gonna
Avengers, it would have. If it was the first movie, no matter how good you think it is, if it was the first movie, it would have had problems. It was just, I don't, but because it really.
Like I want to, we need to get the Wonder Woman movie. We need to get the Flash movie. Like we need to get all these guys.
Won't get a Flash movie in a while.
I hate to break it to you, dude. There's not going to be a Flash movie for a very long time.
Yeah, that's what I
can introduce him a little bit somewhere at least.
Yeah.
And
Well, apparently it's going to be Wally West, right? That's what.
Yeah. He was dead in that Vision. Yeah.
So I guess we'll see him in James Gunn's Nightmare.
So dark and so edgy. So dark, so edgy.
I'm really curious about that. Apparently, he's got a nightmare future too. So,
well, did you watch that episode?
Yeah, I've seen the episode.
I mean, it's essentially just a possible. Yeah, it's also a possible.
So you guys think that Gorilla Grodd is going to be like the first big bad? Is that what we're?
No, I think it's yet to be revealed.
He's one of them, maybe.
I don't even.
Phil has seen the whole series, so he already knows.
Oh, that's right. He has seen the whole.
He can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to you guys. So yeah, you guys have a good night. I think.
All right, you too, man.
Things are on the up and up for DC, which is good. It's good publicity for DC, so that's important.
Sure.
So
let's
go Dodgers. All right, see you guys.
Jose.
Bye.
Red Sox.
Oh yeah, you're a Red
Do you guys
Sox.
have any doubt that we will Wonder Woman movie or no? You think in the second straight we will?
No.
No, I mean, I like the idea of Themyscira being a series, and it's very much going to be like a Game of Thrones. I think that's a good idea, to be honest, because I think there's a lot they could do there. I'm just wondering, like, is there things that are going to be tweaked where it's like, well, maybe we should have Diana in it. Maybe she could be really young. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You bring her in eventually over the course of the series, and then like so that the audience will will kind of get used to this new actress that isn't Gal Gadot, and then we'll say that will lead into a Wonder Woman movie that with this new actress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think.
Well, and to everything I was just mentioning here, like as far as like the reversing like the DC fans theater meme. And the decisions, the kind of last year, I had a big long thread I posted on Twitter a few days ago that definitely kind of blew up. And
of all time.
well, listen,
How much time did it take you to make that thread?
Probably about I probably wrote the whole thing like half an hour.
He answered himself like 10 times.
But one because I really wanted to try to put I try to put a lot through when I do stuff like that or in my writing a professional context. I really try to put a lot of like where the fandom is feeling in context of like what's happened over the last 7-8 years, and like one thing that I think doesn't get mentioned enough, and it also plays into just kind of like the what the box office trends for DC cinematically has been is that and this is a contrast to Marvel as well, is that they have such a history, and this is something they really need to reverse the perception of such a proven history of really undermining their own product. They really have they have particularly like under the Hamada regime, where and even before that, like during the Toby Emperor regime, they have such a history of either through incompetence or in some cases outright malice. They have a history of like really cutting their own product off at the legs.
Once they dropped the plan, that was always going to be the downfall of the DCU.
Yeah.
To what was to come.
Yeah.
Huge difference here, guys, is that there is a studio head now.
Yeah,
that title is not just a sticker like "Hi, my name is James." That's a legal title with contractual obligations to where if you interfere with me, I walk and you still pay me type of shit. So there's the situation is so much different that I wish there would have been a studio head in 2013.
Yeah,
because the world would be different.
There needed to be a studio head, and people that wanted like Zach to be it, it was like, no, he shouldn't have been.
Think about
He's a
if Jeff
filmmaker.
Romanoff and Alan, and what's the guy's name? Yeah, Alan Horn was still at Warner Brothers. If we would have absolutely have gone to Snyder, it would have been over with.
He likes Snyder.
Then we got Tishihara, who is banging his subordinates.
That wonderful, charming fellow.
And they gave him a going away party after that scandal broke. They gave him a going away
Of course they did.
I'm like, dude, probably with the mistress there.
Yeah,
and that's the thing that I think a lot of fans are just like, oh, like, look, it's one thing to feel, scorned and burnt out by the past mistakes of those in charge before, but the thing is like, Warner Brothers Pictures has absolutely no fucking oversight over what DC Studios is doing.
Yes.
That's it. And I wish people would really try and understand that concept more, but they're just not. They're being either obtuse about it, they're being negligent about it, or they're just flat out fucking ignoring that.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is like, when I
always think that DC has more failures than Marvel.
Yes,
I wanted to hear
right now. But no, what I was gonna say was like the fact, like going back to your thread, Brad, is like, when I read through, I was like, yeah, I understand and agree with a lot of this, but at the same time, there was like people who are coming at me. I go to their profile, they're retweeting your shit. I'm like, God damn it.
Well, yeah, and I've had other people say that to me too. As far as like when I put that out or when stuff I've written, which I may have a few other things pertaining to a lot of this that's of the speculative fan theorizing nature that might drop soon.
Because sadly, like when it came to like the Henry Cavill the campaign that they did on the day, I'm just like, it's petty. It's really petty, and like, I don't know. I just didn't like that. I mean, I understand that there's some people are like, hey, I totally understand that the way that all that ended was, terrible, stuff like that. But I'm like, is this really the way to do that? And then some of those people were like, I mean, they created a poster where it's like, he deserves to have his story finished. I'm like, what are we doing here? I mean, I don't think he's waiting around for that. He's got plenty of time. Huh?
Well, and like to your point, David, with the, because I've had other people say that to me, and it's kind of the same thing where with it, like Zack Snyder or David Ayer have gotten confronted about not reining people in on like when they're going overboard on these things, and I ultimately can't control how people are going to take the ball and run with it when I put out something like this, and it's a matter of like, I feel compelled to try to be a voice of moderation on a lot of these things. I think William feels the same. That's why we talk about these topics a lot on our show, and that was a big motivator for me to like kind of put that out. But I try to also bring some levity to it. That's why I like use the Ned Flanders, fire gif. It's like, that's not, which by the way, that gif's always amused me because of the first Homer goes in and he just falls back, and then Flanders jumps after him and he turns into like an Olympic gymnast, like backflipping into the window. So that's I try to also kind of like get and again, some stuff I'm kind of writing now is in this vein too. I try to kind of take the temperature down on these things too. It's like, listen, I absolutely feel like a lot of what people are going, and I think people are totally justified in feeling burned and cheated and betrayed and scorned and everything those last years. But there definitely are productive ways to express that and push for what your end goal is with this in a way that's not going to do more harm than good. So
it's not going to drive David Ayer off Twitter. Yeah. Stuff like that.
I mean, look, being bitter and miserable is a fucking choice. Mm-hmm. Like there's no other way around it. Like look, I understand being pretty miffed about what happened with Henry Cavill, but look, I heard it from someone very, very close to me, very close in that realm of like how that situation transpired. It wasn't pretty. And I'm sure anyone in that position probably wouldn't find it very pretty.
That's why I always find it to be kind of, maybe it was a mistake for The Rock to bring back Henry Cavill for Black Adam.
And it's just like, I get it, I do. But at the same time, like, look, Ben Affleck wasn't going to stick around as fucking Batman.
No.
He wasn't going to be Batman for the rest of fucking eternity, you know? The same applies to everyone else who was cast in that universe. So it was inevitable one way or the other, regardless of how, you know, show business, as William famously loves to say, it is show business. So it was going to end one way or another. And you know what? Like, we have things that provide context of how that story would have ended. The fucking Snyder Cut got released, but for some of these people, it's not enough. And look, there are other fans out there who are just like, look, you know, I got what I needed. I have my stuff. I'm not really digging what I'm seeing, and that's fine. And they're not being assholes about it on Twitter. But then you've got other people who are just hammering and clamoring and bitching and moaning and crying, going, I want what I want, acting like immature fucking children about it. And that's not okay. It's asinine is what it is. It's not healthy either. It's dumb. It's immature. And then, you know, you've got other people who are just fucking jumping down James Gunn's throat because he wants to make his own Superman movie.
Yeah.
It's like, dude.
I know. It's I what I really hate too, and I was defending Zach and Gunn this whole week because you have people that just want to utilize like this trailer to shit on what came before, and I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
I saw a video about that, and I was like, I know you were better than this.
So
and I'm not going to say who, but man, fuck
like,
yeah.
And which is really weird with the whole like, you know, element of like the public, you know, being distrustful of Superman. It's like, oh, if you guys are going to use this movie to like, you know, try to drop trial on BVS, I think you're in for a rude awakening.
Yeah. Yeah, because
sometimes people. I was going to say, like, sometimes we just need to move on to the new things. I know that's not always the way to go, but sometimes life happens and we can't always get what we want. So that's just that's just facts.
And I think it is easy for us to like look at like the people who are on our side of like the Snyder and then like who are going too far and then like dumping on them but the truth is it's just the issue of the internet. Look, like as someone pointed out, look, the other side is just as brutal and they're just as obnoxious and often just as stupid. Like using this trailer and saying, you see Snyder fans, this is what Superman's supposed to be like. It's like
every time I do that, I hear that, I want to take that person and I want to peel their head back like a Pez dispenser and pull their tongue out. Tribalism determines what Superman is supposed to be. Isn't that all of us at any given time? That drives me crazy.
Yeah,
it's insanity.
Well, it's probably gonna happen when the movie comes out. They're like, "Oh, see, this is what Superman should have been." Yeah, fuck what Man of Steel was. Like, fuck all that. Like, yeah, this is what Superman should have been. But I don't know.
To be blunt, it's like I look at that trailer again, and really, the only real significant difference between what Gunn is going for and what Zach is going for, aside from coloring, is the dog.
Honestly,
there's also this one thing too. I'm sorry, but I was just saying, like, I was even thinking about this, even talking with, I think, my brother or my dad. I don't know. I was talking to actually Steven about this because we were talking about the trailer. We were messaging each other, and it was funny because Steven Colbert, he like at first he was like, I don't know about this trailer, and then he goes, it grew on me. It grew on me when I watched it a couple more times, and then we were talking about it. He goes, man, if they put out this movie or this trailer like back in 2018, the discourse would have been vastly different. You know, it's just the fact that there's been this long period of time and all the fucking runaround that we got with Henry Cavill and stuff like that. That had a lot to do with it. And then it's funny too, because bringing up what Paul was saying last night, I mean, we got Paul, big time comic book fan. What did he say last night? It was a little too comic booky looking. I'm like, what? Like, whoa.
Well, I understood what he was saying, though.
I know, and I knew what he was saying too. But at the same time, that's what, like, the outside shots need work. But I thought all the inside shots with the retro and everything, I thought they looked good. I think they look good.
You mentioned you got a little bit of pushback when you said this. It kind of looks like a fan film with a big budget, which and Phil made the same point I was thinking, where it's just like, is that not? I mean, that's basically what like most CBMs really are, aren't they?
Pretty
They're
much
fan films, with $100 million or $200 million attached to them.
Yeah, and I even said that I was like, yeah, I mean, essentially it is, because you have James Gunn, who's a big fan, who has a big budget, and is making this stuff, and it's like it is a Superman film, and then, when you're trying to modernize, I mean, you can even say that a little bit about if you watch that first Man of Steel trailer. That's an artsy indie looking, Superman trailer fan film kind of thing. It's just because the character is so grand and so huge that it's kind of like hard to just be like, how could you just make? That's why when it's on like the CW, you just kind of go like, oh yeah, there it is. There's Superman. There's all that. Yeah, it's all hokey and weird and stuff like that.
You could say the same thing about the first trailer for Batman Begins. It's very hardcore take on Batman, and that minute and a half, I think, teaser kind of evokes that a little bit. Yeah. So
yeah. I know, it's just it's such a weird thing we're in such a interesting time when it comes to CBMs right now, because there's been the Marvel boom and everything, and I mean it's been all done to death, so you're trying to reinvent and everything, and now we got this Superman film, and that's why I think we like to push the whole, when Jose was like, who cares about the numbers, stuff like that, it's like, well, nowadays that's just the way it is now. And you're trying to like determine whether this movie is going to do well or not. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like when the teaser to the trailer came out, I went, uh-oh. I was like, yeah, some of these shots don't look that great, the outside shots. So I was kind of a little nervous. I started getting a little nervous. And thankfully, the trailer was like, okay, there's still some outside shots where I think need some work, but for the most part, I was like, okay, this feels fine, but there's just something about it. It doesn't quite feel. And I'm like, I'm not going to say the CW thing. I hate that. That's been a fucked out thing. That's what I said last night. I'm like, that's why it feels like an expensive fan film trailer. But at the same time, that's not a dig, because I like fan film trailers. I think, there's a lot of people out there that can really do shit when it comes to these characters. And I think James Gunn, what I like about James Gunn is like, all right, he's doing something different. He's doing something different with the costume. I know it. I'm not a big fan of it either, but it's growing on me because I understand that he didn't want it to look like a wet T-shirt. He didn't want the fake muscles. He didn't want like the ab outlines. He wanted just like, okay, let's not do that thing that we've done. Okay, cool. Perfectly okay with that. And then, of course, to have an established Superman with already a world out there, I'm like, well, that's kind of different too, even though, Zach kind of like touch bases on that, but this is more grander because you have superheroes who are sponsored by, characters from the DC universe, by Lord and all those guys, it's just, so I dig that,
Well, it's something I kind of wanted to add to all that about like what Jose was saying about the kind of the state of the fandom, and I also kind of tacked on to that thread I mentioned earlier today, and Taladia, commented on this too, is that the thing that's really kind of been really tragic from my standpoint is you have this division of people who are either just going, who want to just go all in on what James Gunn is doing, or totally committed to restore the Snyderverse, and I'm somebody who tries to kind of strike a middle ground on that. And even with that said, I've had a number of people who I considered friends or I was cordial with for a long time, who have when I put out things like that, all of a sudden I notice they just stop talking to me.
I've gotten that too.
And it's which has been really disheartening, because I like to think I've not gone overboard on anything, or I've not been unreasonable in anything I've done. Well, and that's not strictly also like it's also been like people who like have maybe not as fond opinions of Snyder as a lot of us do, which again, these are some people that I was really had a good friendship with, and then all of a sudden it's like I recommend ZSJL, and they say, oh, I'll never watch that, and then all of a sudden I notice it's just they stop interacting with me.
Then you didn't have a good friendship.
Yeah.
I always find it very preposterous that movie opinions can end people's relationship.
Isn't that weird? Yeah.
Then you did listen. If you had no relationship, if a fucking movie with a flying dog and an alien and robots, if that ended your relationship, you didn't have one. Now I can understand politics and things like that, because that's actually affecting you directly, the whole way of that environment. But when it's this is supposed to be fun. If your relationship ended over fictional characters, you had the facade of a relationship. You had the mimicking of a friend. You didn't really.
And I found that out like back in 2016. I mean, with the BBS discourse. I mean, there were points where I did have to like go on my. I could not go, as I said in the thread I put out. I could not go on my own social media and talk about liking BBS without getting dogpiled back then.
Or that damn turkey. The turkey with the infinite crisis.
Yeah, the turkey.
You know, Brad, sometimes you gotta be truly honest with yourself and just be like what you like and dislike what you like. Okay.
But again,
look, I love the Total Recall remake, and I got so much.
I'm with you on that, Tony. I'm with you. I love that movie.
And I had this one guy literally comment, and he told me to go fuck myself for liking that movie. So,
Jesus.
Look, I made a post on Threads. I was like, look, y'all don't need to punch down on Man of Steel to prop up James Gunn's Superman.
No.
And I shit you not. I was met with responses from anti-Snyder folk telling me, no, you're wrong. That movie deserves all the fucking criticism and all the hate. And I'm just like, no, you're literally just proving my fucking point, dickhead.
I saw you too, and I'm like, wow, this is I was so tempted.
It was just like, dude, you can't be fucking. You can't make this shit up. Like, the Snyder cult is fucking insane. Let's not mince words here.
Yeah,
but they are.
I mean, they are Star Wars fans.
They are born. They are born from the anti-Snyder crowd, straight up, and all the bullshit that they pulled with Man of Steel and BVS. Because let's face facts here. There was a targeted hate campaign against Batman versus Superman from the moment it was fucking announced.
Which is always weird to me. It's why.
Because people like Devin Faraci suck a fucking dick. That's why.
Follow Marvel. They were like, oh, you know, when it came to Man of Steel, people didn't respond to it. I still remember walking out of Man of Steel. Me and my friend Johnny, who walked out, we were just like, holy shit.
I was on cloud 9.
I was like, we were like, dude, that was fucking crazy. And then I remember just, you know, seeing the discourse, and this was when I was first making videos and shit like that. I wasn't like going as hard as I was after BBS got announced. That's when I really went hard at it. But even then, it was just like, I mean, the pushback and trying to defend all this stuff. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, like the past week, it felt like I was doing that all over again. But now I'm defending Gunn. I'm like, wait, with like almost the same things. You know, and it's just kind of a full, like a weird circle kind of thing that's happening.
I got like people saying, you know, calling me names under the sun because the fact that I like the Superman trailer, right? But yeah, they say, I'm like, look, I like Snyder's work, but I have to like other things too, you know. It's not just
you like the characters first, you know?
But they're like, oh, you're this, you're that, you know, you're
because it's like part of their identity and its affiliation. They want to be in on some part of a conversation. And that's their doorway in, and it's so sad. I mean, you know what the doorway is the character. So how fun? It's a comic book character. This is supposed to.
I know. Well, and I get disappointed when it comes to like, you know, people who are involved in like the Snyder Cut movement, because I mean, a lot of that was like we were trying to make awareness of like, hey, you know, artistic, you know, integrity, and bringing up awareness, of course, of like of numerous things, obviously suicide prevention and everything, and then justice for Zach, and then of course creating awareness of the studio not fucking with like the, you know, and then when you want to just have somebody who's creative want to fail and everything to fail miserably just so I can get what I want, and I'm like, well, that's not what that was all about. What are we doing? You know, just let it be.
It's not your way to look at things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, if we could travel in time, they're angry at the DC and Warner Brothers that no longer exist. You're literally shouting at a ghost that is gone.
There's only one person that's still there, and that's Peter Safran, which I'm like, okay,
yeah,
he's still there.
He's not even on the totem pole.
Was he one guy left? Snyderverse? Because I don't think he was.
The only guy he was there. Legitimate anger to was Zaslav, and he's putting a golden yacht together.
He's
to float off
selling into stock. Big time.
He sold a bunch of stock, right? Didn't he? Or
something like $30 billion of stock. So
he's about ready to get out. He's about ready. He's about to be done. And we got Carrie joining right now.
Hey, Carrie, what's up, man?
Hey, hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Am I coming going off my iPad and the Bluetooth mic for this one?
Now it works. How you doing?
Yeah. Well, family's on vacation right now, so
nice.
Not at home or somewhere else.
Yeah, I figured that. It looks like you're at like some kind of cabin, maybe.
No, just a rental house.
Okay, where are you at? Like, well, you don't have to say, but
yeah, Mountains of Colorado.
Okay, Colorado. That's all you have to say. Mountains of Colorado. That works.
Yep.
How's everything going?
Going okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. We're just talking, of course, Superman, and you know, since you just joined, how are you feeling about this Superman trailer?
Probably on the opposite spectrum than compared to a lot of you guys. To be honest, I think I fall in the category that Brad has written about a lot of the feeling betrayed, feeling put off.
Carrie kind of reached out to me about that too earlier. So yeah, just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, but Brad actually kind of liked the trailer though.
Well, I mean, objectively, I don't think there's anything wrong with the trailer. I do find it a little disingenuous that the DC fans that hated what Zack was doing, like the Superman doesn't smile once. He's getting the crap beat out of him.
Slow-mo.
They're showing slow-mo. They're showing the scenes where people are hating Superman, and yet they're praising this trailer when this was the same stuff they, wanted to, wanted to tar and feather Zack for. So
yeah, but my only pushback on that is because what I hate when I see like that, the comments about that, I'm like, I mean, do you have like particular people that we are like, hey, I mean, I understand if a certain person that was like, hey, I was against that, now I'm for it. It's like, okay, yeah, call them out. But then we start lumping everybody together of like, oh, you didn't want it first, but I'm like, I mean, because I get lumped into that too. I'm like, wait a minute. I had people in my mentions, what, slow-mo is good now? I'm like, what the fuck? I love slow-mo. What are we doing here? I like, it's just, I don't know. It gets to a point where it gets a little messy like that. I don't know. That's why I kind of when that happens, but
I mean, I guess I'll say it this way. For me, and I can't speak for other fans and how other fans deal with these things. I do personalize my connection to these movies and connections. I do take them personally. I did that all the way back with the Nolan franchise. I've done that with the MCU. I did that with the DCU that Zack had envisioned and whatnot. So when the fact that the DCU has ended the way it ended, the stuff that happened with Cavill, there's a part of me that really does take that as a personal shot against me and against the things that I like and the things that I want to have happen. And that's just me. That's just how I process it. So that's why when I see so much praise happening for a product that I know I don't want and seems to go against, not 100% against, but, as a reaction in some ways to what Zack was doing, I do kind of take that as a shot at me and a shot at my interests. And that's just how I process it. That's just me. I'm not telling how other people to feel and think about those things. So for me, the bottom line really is like, this is not the thing that I'm wanting for. Brand loyalty is a big deal for me. And at a certain point, brand loyalty stops for me when you show that, like, the way they're handling the characters, the way that I feel like it's just not a way that I'm in for, and not the way that I've showed my loyalty to these franchises for quite a while. I mean, that's the reason why I'm still an MCU fan, because they've never done anything that has been egregious to me or pushed back against one of my interests, or even I think a lot of fans that have been around for Marvel fans for a long time. I mean, they brought back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in Spider-Man No Way Home, so that fans of those characters could enjoy another romp with them. They brought back Patrick Stewart to be Xavier in Multiverse of Madness. We'll see if they brought back Hugh Jackman. They brought back Wesley Snipes. They brought back Wesley Snipes. They brought back Kelsey Grammer as Beast in the post-credit scene of the Marvels. So Marvel is doing things to at least say, hey, we know you love these versions of these characters before we had access to them. So we're going to show some level of respect and appreciation for that now that they're in our wheelhouse. And I just feel like DC does just the exact opposite of that, in my opinion. And people are free to disagree with me all they want, but that's just how I am with it. So the bottom line is, like, I'm not going to be an antagonist against James Gunn, but I don't feel like I'm going to be a cheerleader either. And I don't feel like I should be obligated to be just because I'm a Superman fan. And I, so I mean, the mentality I'm trying to have with it is, like, whenever the movies come out, like what we're still expecting that Fantastic Four and Superman come out like within really close proximity to each other in July, something like that.
Yeah. July.
Yeah.
So I'm probably
after Superman.
I'm probably going to see Fantastic Four multiple times before I give any of my money towards Superman and DC, because look, I voted with my wallet. I saw Black Adam 3 times in theaters, and I bought the Blu-ray when it came out to show to vote with my wallet my excitement for Henry Cavill being back, and then that was completely thrown back in my face.
The only thing I would push back on that is you said that you're going to watch Fantastic Four multiple times. I would only push back on that because you don't know, like, it could be bad. But if to me, it sounds like, I'm going to watch multiple times. But it might not be bad. But I'm just saying, like, hey, don't say multiple times before you see that. I mean, to me, that's just like a little too like, okay, I'm going to see this, multiple times. But you don't know how it could suck. For all we know.
But the studio has earned my loyalty. That's my point.
Okay.
The Marvel Studios has earned my loyalty as a fan, whereas DC Studios and Gunn and just them historically, they've lost it all. I mean, I'll be seeing. I mean, I'm really, really excited for Captain America: Brave New World. I'm really, really excited for Thunderbolts. So those are the kinds of superhero things that when everyone else was hyped for Deadpool and Wolverine, I was hyped for Cap 4. So because I'm not as in.
I think with me, it's just like, I'm not. I'm not like, when it comes to brand loyalty, I'm just like, I'm kind of going like, well, I'm not going to just because they've earned my trust, I'm going to just go multiple times. If the movie's good, I'll go multiple times, but I'm not going to automatically go like, well, you've earned my trust, so I'm going to watch your movie multiple times.
But I have a lot of confidence in what the studio is doing, and Matt Jackman and the actors.
Still got to see it,
With the benefit of the doubt, it's see the two word credibility and benefit of the doubt. I can understand. I'm going to see all these movies. Mm-hmm. But you got to understand, as a retailer, continuity is everything. Continuity is trust, and it's interdependent with money. And it's not James Gunn's fault. I mean, he's the here and now. But the reality is
him and Safran made the decision to release Cavill, though. I mean, it did come down to them. So they did decide to release Cavill, though.
What's kind of funny about that?
James Gunn decision.
Yeah, but what's funny about that is like when I was like when people were like going back and forth, like in my mentions, stuff like that. I remember like there was someone specifically. I was like that said, hey, Cavill deserved like Man of Steel 2, and I was like,
so.
Great, would you want? I know, but I was like, would you want James Gunn to make a Man of Steel 2 with Henry Cavill? And they said, God no, keep him away from that. I'm like, okay, what are we doing here then? Like, but
if he's okay with you guys, like, do you ever think that it was a mistake for The Rock to bring back Henry Cavill? No. Knowing his whole like ideology and his like agenda that he apparently like he wanted to like take over.
Here's the thing. It was another sight of Warner Brothers to do the fucked up dumb thing that they continue to do to not only hire James Gunn to write a Superman movie, but then also have Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca be like, hey, why don't you also try and work on a Man of Steel 2 at the same time? And then when Black Adam fucking flopped. What did Zaslav do? Hey, James Gunn, Safran, here are the keys. Enjoy. And like it or not, James Gunn and Peter Safran are well within their creative right to do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Putting aside, the simple fact of the matter is Abdi and DeLuca promised us a Man of Steel 2. And then suddenly they yanked the rug out from that.
And one thing I want to add to all that.
This is one guy.
Yep.
One guy. His name starts with a Z.
One thing
Zaslav did that.
I know.
And it wasn't going to, and be honest with you,
I know, I'm not blaming Gunn for it.
It doesn't matter what the box office said, because you just hired a guy who lost you $54 million at the box office. Once he decided,
I'm not blaming them for it.
Once James Gunn said yes, he was not going to immediately undermine the guy he just hired. Now, he did a very fucked up job in communicating with Abdi and DeLuca about what was going on. He was playing two hands at the same time. Once James Gunn said yes, for a bunch of other people said no, that was it. That's what it would not have been fair to have James Gunn come in and say, we want you to hang your hat on something that's going to be the legacy for the rest of your life, long after you're in the ground. But by the way, I want you to inherit some other guy's idea. That's just not fair. But there's one guy, not a whole bunch of people. There's one fucking guy. He made the ultimate decision that caused the cascading effect. If you hate anybody, hate that guy. I can't even blame it on Abdi and DeLuca. They took their marching orders from that same guy.
Yeah.
One guy.
One thing I do kind of also want to tack on to like everything both William and Carrie have said is there's also this whole kind of there's a lot of debate about the semantics about whether or not Henry Cavill was quote unquote fired after his comeback, and I mean there's a lot of
he wasn't fired.
A lot of the side that says he wasn't fired says he didn't have like a written contract in place.
He was not fired.
He never had a contract.
Well, I get that.
But he's also asked to not asked to leave the building. So
there's I mean, there's the whole thing about that. But
those are two versions of the same thing. So
no, they're not.
They are.
No,
being asked to resign and then firing you are two versions of the same thing.
Well, no, it's not.
Yes, they are.
I think
because the practical consequence is the same.
There is
because that's happened to me.
Well, he never worked for James Gunn.
Yeah, he never did.
James Gunn can't fire a guy that never worked for him.
Team said about like how
he never had a contract.
I get, but also the idea of like whether or not this amounts to firing. I mean, how much? I mean, they had Cavill go on the press tour saying I'm back, and every social media page was saying he's back. To me, it's a distinction without a difference.
It is.
Well, he also made that video too. Like that was the most messed up thing is he made that video that he was back.
If a guy that I work for hires me and you're in the building, you never worked for me, and I never do anything with you, and I never had any plans of doing anything with you, that's not. I'm not using you. That's not firing you. But like I said, it comes down to one guy. One guy made that decision. It has nothing to do with James Gunn. It has nothing to do with Abdi or DeLuca. They were going
but Gunn was put in the position to pull the trigger on it. So.
But then what I said to that one person, would you want James Gunn to actually make a Man of Steel 2?
Well, this is where William comes in and says, okay, that what they should have done.
I mean, if he's honoring what Matt Reeves was doing, why can't he have Elseworlds with Superman with Henry Cavill? So that's
because there's money that's an issue,
and that's what William has like said a lot on our show too. Is that the right way to do this would have been like sit both parties down and say, okay, you guys plan on putting a bow on this, and you prep what comes next.
Yeah, that one guy could have done that. He could have said Abdi and DeLuca down and said, you put a bow on this universe so that everybody who's invested in this universe has a good taste in their mouth. And guess what? Because they're the customer in front of you. See, what DC and Warner Brothers did is something you never fucking do as a retailer. You never say goodbye to the customer that's right in front of you and play a guessing game of what you may get down the line. You always keep that customer. So what they should have done is she should have sat him down and said, hey, Abdi and DeLuca, wrap this up. You take care of this, James Gunn. Whatever you're going to do, let's get it done. And that's what should have happened. The fact that didn't happen, it's only one guy.
Well,
he did that,
and that's why, like everything Carrie said. I mean, for all the again, kind of like the sort of middle ground I've taken, and seeing a lot of people who are really getting excited for the Superman trailer, other people who were again kind of in the middle, and other people in Carrie's position. Everything that's transpired. I can't fault anybody for 1 second. Who has like Carrie's perspective of it's like I've just been burned too many times by the studio. It's like I'm not willing to give them more of my money
but it's not the same studio. It's not Warner Brothers Pictures anymore. It's DC Studios. It is its own autonomous thing. It's a different thing now. That's my fucking point. Go on, Brad.
It's still an umbrella. There's still the umbrella oversight.
The problem is the perception.
Okay.
You have listen.
Disney's the umbrella oversight over Marvel.
As a consumer, you have the right to feel however you are the consumer.
Exactly.
You have the right to feel however you want to. But the problem is it feels right, but the perception. See, perception is everything when you're talking about making a sell. And rightly or wrongly, there's a perception of this because, like I said, 97% of us are not going to dive into the minutia. Most people aren't going to know what a Zaslav is or what it walks on. So that's the problem that they have. We know this, but I'm all for it. And I'm ready to experience this, and I'm open to all this. But at the same time, I can't blame somebody because, like I said, if I treated my customers that way, and they don't know what's going on at the top, and then I expected them to come back, I'm a fucking fool. So I understand where everybody's coming from on this. It's just
exactly
it's a bad situation. I hope that
it's a good. The fact that you have a business shows that's you have that unique perspective of that, so you could see all ways of stuff. Yeah,
and it's a very human react. I mean, it's like imagine when his fans campaigned for him for Guardians 3. And he got rehired. Then 2 months later, if Marvel had said, nope, change our minds, not happening. I mean, I don't think they would have taken that well either. And again, they would have been well within their rights to feel that way about that situation as, people, with Carrie's perspective on this too.
Well, see,
at the same time, before we go, because being bad, we're about to roll.
Yeah, we got our show.
This is a different, we're chasing I completely understand. I feel you, Carrie. I feel you. But we're chasing a ghost that may not even be haunting this particular house. Those ghosts are gone, and I understand. I completely understand because the perception of it and the damage is still there. But at the same time, I got to know where to aim. And like I said, there's only one guy that and he does not give a fuck. The guy is a perpetual liar. He doesn't care. He wouldn't know a comic book if I stapled it to his fucking forehead. He wouldn't. He doesn't care. So I feel you. I feel you. But at the same time, it's like, man, one guy has made so many bad decisions, and he just cashed in $30 million. So
hopefully he's cashing out his stock and taking off pretty soon.
Yeah, he's probably going to put on the disguise and disappear. Who knows?
Case in point: Wile E. Coyote versus Acme.
Oh, don't get William Starr on that, Eric.
No, that was one of the
things. I'm sorry, they have the right to be angry. That movie needs to be released right now.
No, you going to pay for it?
Sorry, what?
You going to pay for the what they would lose on it?
See,
but James Gunn wrote it. He co-wrote it, and even he got upset about it.
Are you going to pay for what they projected by a third-party organization outside, or are you going to pay? You going to take their losses? See what I mean,
William? It got great test screenings.
I don't look. Oh, so what? That ain't money.
Yeah,
everybody wants somebody to do something from the safety of their keyboard. They should do this. They should do this. Release Packer. Release this. Well, you going to pay for it? If they take a loss, is your Mercedes or something on the line? You going to mortgage? No.
That's always been my thing when it comes to when I see the posters of like restore the Snyderverse, and then they have this big long slate, and I'm like, who the
fuck? Batman 10, 20, 30, Justice League 5, 10, 12. No.
Yeah. I'm like,
narrow it down. I want completion. But let's be real. If you walk into the office with that big giant bag with all those titles in there, they're going to, like I said, they're going to turn you around and say, go get, But if you come in with a finite, let's wrap this up, let's resolve this, let's give your customer that's right here something good to think about. You know what he might do? Give all your other stuff a shot.
Yeah.
But like I said, you never say goodbye to the customer you have. You never do that. I don't see you spend so much money, time, and capital to get that guy through that door in front of you. You don't say goodbye to that guy. Now, if you got to move in a different direction, that's fine. You take that guy with you. You do things that guy comes with you, because that once that guy leaves, there's no guarantee he or she is coming back. So we'll say what it's thought that way.
This isn't even exclusive to just movie studio mergers. This happens across business as a whole.
Yeah.
Like I've seen this happen where, loyal customers. I used to work at GameStop. Management there that I had was, Prime. We had Prime customers that came in specifically because of the people that work there. When those people no longer work there, some people were like, well, fuck this. I'm not coming back to the store because I'm not going to be treated with the same level of respect.
That's continuity. Yeah. Like I call them triple digits. I call them triple digits because when they come in, we got 3 digits just coming into the door, and I just smile on my face. Some of the time I've been on the air when they come in, you see my mood change. But we do things. If I have to change the direction of what I'm doing, with this store, with this little lemonade stack I got here, I am going to do it in a way that, yes, I have to move in a different direction, but I'm taking you with me. I worked really hard to get you in, and I'm not just going to assume that your mind might not be open into this new future thing. And that's what Warner Brothers Discovery and Warner Brothers fucked up. They didn't appreciate the customer that was right there. And like I said, just getting one guy in here. Sometimes you go like weeks without your regulars, but you get not new customers and everything else. Times are hard. People don't have the money. But like I said, when they get their job back, it's loyalty and it's continuity. You have to be able to trust the guy behind the counter or the business to know that you are not going to waste their time. That if you invest any amount of time and money into me, that I'm going to come through for you. even if it's has to change or alter. I'm going to give you your ending. If you invested in a previous version of something like that, and I have to know it, it's not going to wrap it up, give it a bow. The people who watch Superman and Lois, that's how you do it. Regardless of the circumstances of what happened and why it happened, those people who invested in that show got an ending.
They got
when you get that kind of resolution, you feel better about the next step. They did not do that. And one guy really exacerbated it when he came in. So,
yeah.
Can I share something to William's point, but also stuff that he's talked about in other times in the past? So at Comic-Con, I made it into the Jim Lee panel, and where he talks about, he takes questions and everything, and I went up to the mic and asked him a question. I basically asked him, is there any chance of getting a comic book series, graphic novel series to finishing Zack's Justice League saga? And he said, well, the larger company is trying to lean more into what Gunn and DC Studios and all that kind of stuff. So they're trying to really just cut off what came before and move forward. And I said, well, if it means anything, it would make me and a whole lot of other fans very happy if you were to publish a graphic novel series finishing out the jail saga.
Yeah, but then they would want the live action version.
And he just
a problem.
Well, he just said noted. So at the minimum,
it'll eventually happen. It'll eventually.
He said noted.
Okay.
And then that was the end of that exchange.
Now,
So
keep in mind, Carrie, what has happened in between then? That has shown a lot of people that different versions can work, especially on paper. You have the absolute universe. So I would like to see him again, when we get down there in July and see okay, now we see that we have a market for things that aren't necessarily monolithic. Let's ask that question again. Also, I think a lot of the psychology behind what James Gunn does, be honest with you, your best bet, and I will say this over and over again, your best bet for getting another inch of what we would want as far as resolution goes is going to be this guy, because his mind is not like a fat cat executive. His mind is open to things. You didn't hear a filmmaker or an executive saying Elseworlds. They didn't even know what it was. Like I said, it could have been tattooed on their fucking tongue and they wouldn't have known what it was. He knows what it is. He appreciates what it is. And I think a guy who grew up in the crisis where Crisis fucked up comics, he was there when all that happened. So I think a guy like that, if there's anybody, any situation to where we would get any of that, it would be through him because of his appreciation and the way his mind works. They got the right guy. I really think that they stumbled into the right guy.
I'm not convinced of that, but we'll see. But that's just me.
I mean, I can't tell the future, but I mean, look who we had.
I hated the Suicide Squad, and it takes a lot for me to hate a movie.
Really? I thought it was.
Yeah, but I hated Married to the Mob. But when Jonathan Demme, that same guy, gave me Silence of the Lambs, I didn't hate him anymore. I got to give people.
William's so quick.
William has better analogies than anyone I've ever heard in my life.
Dude, I know he's so quick. I mean, that's what I love about it.
And
but it's just funny because when it comes
I love all three Guardians movies.
Yeah, when it comes to the Suicide Squad, I mean, I was kind of mad about it, but then I look at something like Scott.
Good. I thought it was fine, but it was
Scott. Look at Scott. Scott literally based his whole podcast off it, and he goes, "I fucking really liked it. He nailed it." And I was like, "Yeah, that's why." When it comes to James Gunn, just kind of knowing a lot. And I said a controversial thing a few weeks ago, where I was like, if you're gonna pit these two together, and I think even Zach would agree, James Gunn knows way more about the DC universe than Zach does, because of what Zach has a unique knowledge when it comes to certain characters, and the way that he put them on the screen was phenomenal. But when it comes to the vast universe, it's holy shit. I mean, that's where Gunn is just he is that guy,
Yeah.
I wish he'd been there in 2013. I wish he'd have been. I wish we'd had the studio head. But like I said, I understand what people are saying. But man, those ghosts are on, scaring the shit out of somebody else. And now, like I said, one more ghost to go. And like I said, he just cashed out, and I think he's about to, disappear into the ether, because I think I don't think the company is going to get. As far as his stock and all that, he's done his job. He's done his job.
I'd rather Stafford not be there personally, but
in the end, I think there was just looking back at Zaslav, I think there was just one good thing that he did, and that was give Emmerich the boot. After that,
no, then there's two, because the studio. Listen, that studio position is super important. It's the reason why
we created DC Studios.
We would be fighting for all this shit if there was a studio.
Fair enough.
acts at a legal buffer because, like I said, there's a legal buffer between all this, and we just didn't have that. We had Warner Brothers doing whatever the fuck that they wanted to do and taking whatever seriously and cherry picking. And like I said, now you have a guy that if Zaslav comes in and says, well, I want an Adam West type Batman for this, James Gunn can say, no, that is not what we agreed to. You agreed to give me these parameters, and that if it don't, that's a breach of contract. You still pay me, and I go on to do something else. And that we didn't have that back in 2013 to 2017.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair point. Then you
I got to split because
we got. All right, guys, go ahead. Thank you guys for joining. Always fun talking to you.
See
you, Brad.
Take it easy, guys. Easy, guys.
Yeah. By the way, Dave, like in answer to your question of would you have wanted a Man of Steel 2 if it was directed by James Gunn? Honestly, after seeing that trailer, I would have said, yeah, sure.
I mean, okay. But what's funny about that is like when I put that question out there to people in my mentions who are like that hate him, they just go fuck no, and I'm like, all right, then what are we doing here? I mean, like it's like. It's like I get it. In a perfect world, we could have got that Christopher McQuarrie Man of Steel 2.
Yeah.
And that would have been probably fucking awesome and great and whatever the fuck. But here we are now. So it's like that's why I posed that question. And I'm like, you wouldn't want that, right? Because you don't like the guy. And they say that, and I'm like, okay, well, then why do you think he chose not to go with Cavill? He was like, you know what? If we're going to do this, I have this idea. This is the idea. If you want to go with it, then here's the idea, and that's the thing. It's like, and to be honest, I didn't want even a James Gunn Superman for the longest time. But now that we finally see some things, then I'm like, all right, let's see what this has, because, some of this stuff's looking pretty good,
I mean, the reality also too is with these,
the biggest loss of the DCU was not getting Garrett Evans Deathstroke movie. That one really,
that sucked.
Yeah,
that would have bummed me out. That would have been so good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like again, even within the spectrum of comic books, like you're gonna have different flavors within all that. Like Grant Morrison stuff really isn't my big cup of tea. That doesn't mean he's not a really incredible, smart, brilliant writer. It's just his sensibilities don't line up with mine. Like I've said it here before. I think All-Star Superman is a really underrated, like a really overrated book. Like I really don't see the majesticness in that book that other people see. I get confused when I read that book. Whereas for me, like writers like Scott Snyder, Ed Brubaker, Greg Rucka, those guys are more my flavor. And Zach was or Frank Miller, and Zach and Nolan were doing DC along those lines, and Gunn wants to do the more really goofy, weird, outlandish, kind of stuff. I also don't, and this is just my personal take on things. Like when he's on record as saying, I think comic books, while there's something I love, I also think there's some of the dumbest things out there. Someone saying that doesn't instill confidence in me, because I'm like, if you're going to purposely call your own product dumb, I don't understand what your mindset is in being in charge of it.
I think like what he's doing is he kind of being facetious, because he's just recognizing the silliness of it, because it is. I mean, if you were to like step back and really just be like, yeah, there is a sort of like silliness to the whole thing, where it's like, but I never.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be your rhetoric when you're trying to talk about why you love a product, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm just like going like, I didn't take it as serious as like, oh yeah, he just thinks that it's all dumb, and like, no, there's just like, there is a silliness to it, because sometimes when I'm explaining this stuff to people in my life, like real life, I go, what the fuck am I even talking about right now? Like, I'm explaining this to somebody who has no idea what the hell. And sometimes I just kind of go like, wow, it is pretty silly. And that's the way I took those quotes, when it came to that.
Yeah, I took it in the opposite direction. That I don't know, just because when there's something that this is how I personalize things. Going back to what I was saying, when there's something that I know I really enjoy, and someone else says, "Oh, I think it's one of the dumbest things on the planet," I'm kind of like, well, screw you for putting down the thing that I love. Like that's how I take it.
He wasn't being serious, though. I mean, that's the thing.
I read that differently. But
yeah, but I'm just saying that's not his intention, because obviously he is still trying to sell the product, and he's said many times how much
But that doesn't tell me he doesn't take it as serious as I would like.
Are you kidding me? He's taking it completely serious. He's got to. There's even an article that came out where his quotes were saying that it is like bearing down on him. Like there is a lot of pressure for this. You don't just go into this thing not taking it seriously. There is a lot riding on Superman. That's the thing. There is so much riding on Superman. So you can't. He's not just fucking around, man. He is taking it as seriously as he can.
It's gonna be what makes or break the entire DCU.
Pretty much. If the movie flops, he's done. He's out of the job. He doesn't have any more work. There is a lot. I've said it over and over again. I'm surprised. Like when his hair went from brown to white. I'm surprised it hasn't fallen out with the amount of pressure that he has on him right now. So,
what I mean by taking it seriously is when Zach talks about its mythology, like it's modern mythology. That tells me you're taking it seriously. But then when you make the other comment of saying, "Oh, it's one of the dumbest things on the planet," that tells me
just emphasizing that quote. There's been many other quotes where he has talked about it, how the seriousness of talking about storytelling and bringing these characters to life and the different versions and the light and the dark and not having the same tone for everything. He's done a lot of other things as well. Said a lot of other things as well too. So just I guess,
yeah. I mean, I loved all three Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but I think those worked because he was in the Marvel sandbox. So
yeah, but he also helped the Infinity Saga.
Yeah,
Kevin Feige said that. Like he helped pave the way for because he knows the source material. That's the thing. So I mean, that's the thing. It's like you can't just like keep on just holding on to just that when it's like it's not even, to me it was like, and I think the way he was saying it wasn't like a serious quote. It's just like it is silly because like I said, when I'm explaining it to people in real life, I'm like, it's a little silly. It's comic book stuff like that, but so I see what he was actually going for right there. But I mean, again, when people were going like, man, it should have been Zach and Debbie that's running DC Studios. I'm like, no, they didn't want to do that shit. They wanted to make their own thing, and Stone Quarry is their own thing, and now they're making their own.
Well, he had a 5-story arc for Superman. That was it.
That's all he wanted to do. That's all he wanted to do. He had an idea like to start Superman, and then it continued, and then it was like, all right, hey, I want to tell this story. You guys can spin it off. Let's not do it like Marvel, but I want to tell this story and talk about Superman, coming to life, dying, being rebirthed, and then of course this whole story of like him just becoming the Superman that we know and love. And then of course there was going to be a lot of tragic shit in the middle of it all. And then he was going to be done, and that was it. That was going to be it for him, man. So, but somebody like James Gunn, he's like, all right, I've seen the way this machine works. I could bring some of that knowledge over here, and I have knowledge of these characters. So when he was announced, I was like, okay, cool. I didn't want him to direct a Superman movie, but then now I'm like, all right, well, let's see what this is all about because
See, it was his The Suicide Squad that made me go like, I don't think his sensibilities DC line up with my own interest.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm looking at Scott, and Scott's like, as a diehard Suicide Squad fan, he's like, yeah, he kind of fucking nailed it, the tone at least.
I mean, I just remember I sat in my car after I came out of that theater, sitting there for like 10 minutes, mulling over what I just saw, and I was like, I felt literally nothing for any of the characters. I didn't resonate with anything. I didn't feel sympathy, empathy, sadness, appreciation, nothing, like zero. And I was blindsided by feeling nothing for it. And kind of and almost like why would I care about these characters? That was a question I was asking for myself coming out of that movie, which is like, well, how did Gunn pull off the magic trick of getting to fall in love with a talking tree and a talking raccoon 3 times over, and then in this movie making me like, wait, so Bloodsport, the coolest character, apparently he has a terrible relationship with daughter that he's not interested in restoring. Okay. And then all the stuff with Polka Dot Man, just when we started to sympathize with him, they kill him. Or Peacemaker, which, watching that movie go like, I ain't watching the Peacemaker series because you just convinced me this character is not worth paying attention to. So that was where my feelings walking out of that movie. Like, usually I find something to appreciate in a movie. I found nothing to appreciate or to back or to get emotionally.
Watching Blue Beetle.
You felt like that was Blue Beetle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like those characters in Blue Beetle. I'm glad
I hated that movie, man. That was
really.
I still haven't watched Blue Beetle, so
I actually enjoyed it. It's a fun little
Jonah
family
Hex
movie.
level of bad. It was
Oh,
it felt so.
No, it was not
it
Jonah
felt-
Hex level bad. That's absurd.
That's what you
It
do.
felt
That's
so
a
lifeless
stretch.
and
Holy shit.
lackluster, and it was just generic. It was just a.
Wow,
It was
Sorry, I just saw something on my my TV that just brought back memories. Holy crap! Because I was watching Christmas with the Cranks, and then I just like muted it, and then of course I love that Hulu just picks my next movie, so it picked Grown Ups 2. Guess who did the VFX? Apparently, I didn't know Grown Ups 2 had some VFX, but apparently everybody. Zoic Studios. If you know, you know. Yes, and I know Eric. I know Phil. At least, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yes.
I didn't know that was I didn't know that was a real thing.
yeah. Carrie, you kind of know too. Yeah. Zoic Studios. Yeah, I'm not gonna. We don't have to explain it, but it's one of those.
I don't know.
You've been around for a bit.
Google is our friend to look that up, basically.
Yeah. Talada, you probably know a little bit too. Maybe I don't know. It's just during a time where scoopers were trying to bullshit a fandom, and and that it was really really bad.
I liked the Suicide Squad. I didn't think it was great. I mean, I thought it was a bit overrated, but it wasn't.
Decent.
And I didn't think it was anything special. Like, it was fun, but it was just kind of forgettable at the end.
Yeah, it was definitely forgettable. Yeah.
I mean, personally, I just loved that Harley Quinn shot the balls off of him and killed Che Guevara. So there you go.
Yeah,
she had some good scenes in it. But yeah. So when it comes to Gunn, it's just like now it's like, all right, now he's going to be tackling. I mean, Creature Commandos. I mean, I said this last night. I mean, the recent episode, where Gunn really shines is the animals. I don't know why. I mean, that's his strong side. Going back even what you said, Carrie, is like you made me fall in love with like a raccoon. It's like, now we got Krypto that's going to be in Superman, and every trailer reaction that I saw, I mean, people were like, "Oh my God, Krypto!" He's going to be a fan favorite no matter what. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching episode 4 of Creature Commandos, and now we're seeing the backstory of Weasel, which I have like. Weasel is just like one of those characters where I'm like, okay, he's just there to do some crazy shit and lick his balls and be gross. And then all of a sudden we get the backstory and you see his incident, and I was sitting there going, I want to hug him now. Like, what the fuck? Like, what'd you do? What? Oh, I was like watching the episode, like going, oh man.
that might be my favorite episode so far.
It is. It's mine too.
Yeah, it is mine.
Weasel was
as
the
well.
one character that I was interested in seeing that got killed off early in the Suicide Squad, and now that I get a full-on series with him, I'm kind of thankful for that a little bit.
Yeah,
but there was a hashtag. There was a hashtag going on Twitter saying "Free Weasel."
Yeah, justice or free Weasel, justice for Weasel.
Yeah.
It was like people were tweeting that. I'm like, yeah. I was wondering about that. I'm like, oh shit, this must be a Weasel episode. And when I watched it, I mean, I literally was going like, oh no. I was like, no, we're not. No, don't do. Oh no. It was like fucking. I was like, god damn, that got intense. I mean, even that image I posted on Twitter, I was like, that was like, I found that. I was like, yeah, it was like Weasel just literally like getting pulled away, and he's like, nah, he's like, like it was like
It's almost as heartbreaking as Rocket Raccoon's backstory.
A little bit, yeah.
Volume 3, man, that hit me hard when his all his friends died in front of him. That was like, Jesus Christ.
Dude, yeah, the times that I watched Guardians 3, I mean, yeah, those scenes were just like lump in throat. Yeah, but I mean, that's where he shines. I mean, he knows how to do that when it comes to creatures, and I think when it comes to Krypto is going to be like a fan favorite. I just go, James Gunn, I dare don't make me go John Wick, on you if you do anything to this dog, don't do anything to this dog, but he might do that. Something might happen where it's just going to cause some emotions, and hopefully the dog will be okay, of course, and I'm sure he will be. But I don't know. There might be some things that happen with.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine in this movie.
Yeah.
There's a whole. There's a whole website. There's a whole movie website called "Does the Dog Die?" And it's because of all the times in movies where the dog dies.
Now, that is such a that'll never be like a thing where people just don't go, fuck off. Nobody cares about the people. It's when something happens with the dog. Oh my God.
How would you rank
Mike Flanagan's talked about that.
No, I was going to ask, how would you rank the I Am Legend dog?
Yeah. Oh, that was such a beautiful scene because the way that when he's holding on to him and he starts turning and the camera just slowly zooms in on Will Smith's face, and Will Smith is just emoting like a motherfucker, and he's like struggling. Oh, dude, that is an intense scene where he's like choking the dog out, and you hear the dog going. He starts changing, and he's just holding on to him like in a headlock, and just like he's just got this like he's holding back tears. Yeah. Best scene of the fucking movie.
It's Tom Hanks and Wilson. It's Tom Hanks and Wilson.
Oh.
I think it was probably for Midnight Mass where Mike Flanagan did kind of point out, like, I find it really weird and twisted that people like they value cats and dogs more than people. Oh, yeah. He's like that doesn't make sense. You'd think not killing people would matter more than not killing a dog or a 100%. Cat, but yet people come out just like, oh, you kill as many people. If you kill this dog, he's like, don't you value one more than the other? Like, you know, so
100%. If there is like, okay, say there's like a bad car accident and people are like, oh man, that sucks. But once you hear that, oh yeah, there was like a truck full of dogs, there would be people going, oh my God, are the dogs okay? You know, and there's just something about us human beings when we start hearing about dogs. Yeah, it just triggers something. Yeah. It's such a weird thing. So I completely agree with what he had to say.
It makes you, maybe it's like, maybe you need to reflect on your own evaluation on the value of life in one form or another. I mean, like, maybe you need to do some self-check.
Was like Harambe the gorilla, Peanut the squirrel.
When it comes to animals, man, whoo, baby, man, people get But anyways, I think this is a good spot to end the stream. We're going on about 2.5 hours, and this has been a lot of fun, guys. I mean, you know, I love the friendly debate. I love the fact that we're all feeling differently about, you know, what's happening and everything like that. That's just what I love about doing this kind of stuff. And of course, if you guys still want more conversation, William and Bradley, they're on Sci-Fi Center right now. They just started. Yeah. They're talking about everything, you know, during their Saturday overnight. So if you guys want to like switch the YouTube channel to over there, by all means. But we can go around the horn right now. Phil, if you got anything to promote, of course, promote.
Not at the moment. It's out of everything from yesterday. Just follow me there, unfiltered, pretty much everywhere except Twitter, because I'm not on that cesspool of an application. Right. But Vero, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Discord, YouTube. Yep.
There you go. Teladia, what do you got?
Well, I got my reaction to Creature Commandos next week. Got that uploaded. So I'm reacting to every episode. I'm supporting the DCU because I want to try something different. And I'm also doing Marvel Rivals content because I'm part of the Marvel Rivals partner program. So I'm actually playing that.
Awesome. So I like it. All right, Tony, got anything to promote?
Me?
Yeah.
No. I'm on Instagram, and you'll see me a lot on the watch-alongs, live streams, and in the Sci-Fi Center live stream chats. But all I do, I mean, I haven't done it in a while. I usually do a lot of Blu-ray reviews for like a lot of my stuff I do on my Instagram account, but that's usually it. But I haven't done it in a while, so I'm gonna get back to it eventually. But yeah, that's what you can just find me on Instagram.
But you know, I appreciate you showing up, man. It's good talking to you. You know,
this was a lot of fun.
Just a lot of fun. You know, I know I don't do this as consistently as I want to, but I'm gonna try to do better in 2025, at least once a month. So, and Eric, what do you got?
All right, you can find me on Twitter at Hardboiled Films. You can find me at YouTube at Hardboiled Entertainment, and on Twitter, like you'll see, I have. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I plan to do some reposting of my 2 articles on the all-time classic Christmas movies, Die Hard and It's a Wonderful Life. So there's that.
Yes, Carrie, what do you got?
Just living life. I'm on Twitter. But if you want to find me, message Dave or Eric, and then they'll point you towards it. unlike Phil, I feel safer on Twitter than other social media places. So I'm more conservative. That's I'll just say it that way. So I feel like more conservative voices are allowed to be welcomed more on Twitter than they used to be. So that's just my take.
All right. Cool. And everybody say hi to Mama Film Junkie. She just joined the chat right now. Happy holidays.
Oh, Miss Film Junkie.
Yeah. We're of course on Tuesday. So good to see you, Mom. And thank you, everybody. Thank you to Jose. Thank you to Jade, who I don't know exactly what happened to him.
He mentioned in the chat that he drank a little too much and wasn't feeling well. So
okay, that's fine. That's fine. Hey, that happens. So thank you to Jade. Thank you to, of course, William. Thank you to Brad. And I think I've got everybody right there. But yeah, thank you to you guys, Phil, Claudia, Tony, Eric, Carrie. Thank you for joining. This is so great. Thank you for the support to the channel. And we'll see you guys later.
Bye.